Welcome to the Podverse Information Gang on the Wednesday night, hump day edition of Outlaw Radio, One Nation. Welcome to the show. Hit like, hit share, hit follow. Tell a friend to tell a friend. The show's on the air, man. It's your boy, Kevin Barnes, man, the Negro Whisperer. I'm in the building for another edition of Outlaw Radio, like I said. And I'm not alone. I got my co-host with me, Mr. Carter. What's popping with ya?
Peace, man. Everything is popping. Life is good. You hear me? Well, how y'all doing out there? Welcome to Outlaw Radio, where we talk that talk and we definitely walk that walk, raising vibrations and elevating thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you, I am the black woman lover, the black man's brother, the coach, teacher, hood healer, the ghetto witch doctor, your holistic health and wellness coach, Mr. Kamar Carter. Peace to the family, y'all. I'm also the one who brings you Nature Nature Herbs and Supplements and Vitality. Nature Nature Herbs and Supplements and Vitality. You go to my Facebook page, Nature Nature Vitality. Wait a minute. I fucked up, right? Hold on. I go to my Facebook page, Nature Nature Herbs and Supplements. You know what I'm saying? And you can see all the Nature Nature Herbs and Supplement stuff there. You know what I mean? You can place your order, whatever. You go to my health page, Healthy Self, Heal Thyself. You could just post on there and ask a question or whatever there. I'll find you. Or somebody gonna direct you to me or something like that, and we gonna get you all taken care of. Or you can go to my page, Kamar Carter. You can inbox me, and I'll tell you all about Nature Nature Herbs and Supplements and Vitality and how to get yours. And I can tell you where you can find me in the next few days or whatever. So, peace, y'all.
Welcome to the Kamar Carter Show. Yeah. I was wondering if we was ever gonna get to talk again. Nature Nature, man.
Kev, so what about
We got some questions in the building tonight. We ain't seen her in a while. What's going on, Courtney?
It's a juice connoisseur, not a talker but a doer. I know I've been missing for a while, but I came back in style. You see me? I wasn't ready for that one, was you? Y'all wasn't. I know.
Good one.
How y'all doing?
Welcome back.
Wow, came back in style.
Yeah, welcome back. And then we got the neighborhood hippie, but I found out today he's AKA Fat Jesus. I just found that out.
Yeah, man.
What's going on, Real?
Hey, chilling, man. I ain't got my rhymes down yet. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. Nah, man. I'm just happy to be here, man.
Man, I'm glad to have everybody in the building tonight. Hit like, hit share, hit follow, share the show. The number is 262-202-5131. 262-202-5131. We try to do something positive and have a little fun with it. We try to give you a little information, give you a little enlightenment, but kind of entertain you a little bit too. Not that anybody on this show is a performer per se, but you will find yourself laughing out loud because sometimes the truth is very funny, right? And sometimes it's laughter inside the pain. You just got to figure out your timing. If you got a business or something that you want to promote, holler at us. We got room for banners, we got room for commercials, all kinds of shit. And you can always come on and represent what you do, man. So if you want to do business, hit us up. If you don't want to do business, you just want to donate, there's a Cash App running across the bottom of the screen. I said this before. I'm like them old pastors when I say I appreciate the kind that jingle, but I respect the kind that fold.
I want everybody in here to match my 20 and then put it back in your pocket and shit.
Look, Kev, you just said people they can advertise and have their stuff on here. Now I won that little contest or them 50 spots for my radio ad on 101.7. I ain't heard no radio ad yet. I be goddamn driving, doing Uber, doing Lyft, so I be in the car. I listen to the radio. That shit playing at midnight. That shit playing at 2 a.m. Ain't nobody hearing them goddamn ads. That shit ain't before I tell you.
Shout out to Icy Gassi and Control C there in the building. Shout out to
you did long as you ain't pay for it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Let's just keep an eye on the bright side. You know what I mean? Long as you ain't pay for it, you know what I mean? You win it.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but they don't actually have programming at midnight, do they?
You know what I'm saying? Because they cut off at 6 p.m. and after 6 p.m. they just keep repeating shit. So
right,
I don't know if my shit playing or not. I don't know. I'm finna send an email. No sooner
Yeah,
we get
they
off
should.
email.
They should be able to send you a schedule of when they play it.
Yeah, they on that bullshit right now. Know that.
Now, what station is this?
It's 101.7 The Truth. You know, Tory Lowe now.
Oh, okay. Tory Lowe and them. Shout out to Tory Lowe and Liz Brown. That's what's up.
So what we saying? That's what's up to my shit ain't playing, Kev? What we saying? That's what's up to?
No. I'm saying what's up to them because Liz used to actually be on the show. Me and Tory's been on here a bunch of times. Well, this is before, but before he got his show, but he's been on here a couple times. Byron Terry said, make the legs match the ass, move the chest, make the chest match the shoulders and body. And I'm pretty sure that means something for Byron. So let me put that up there so y'all can read it. Make the legs match the ass, make the chest match the shoulders. And body. They get your shit together. If that's what we're out.
Okay. All right.
But I wanted to say this. I used to do some ad account stuff for V100, and we had these things called rotators, right? Because Clear Channel at the time was Clear Channel. V100 can be very expensive. If you were not a corporate, corporation or you small business. And so I think at that time, especially during Doug Banks, and this was a long time ago, like ads were, because I said Doug Banks, obviously, but ads were like $150 a piece.
Right.
And this was $150 per ad during his show, right? And so what we would do is we would call these things called rotators, in which they'd be like $75. And what that meant was you give me $75, your commercial will play, but there's no guaranteeing when it will play. Like it might pop up in the rotation during the Doug Banks show, or it might not come on until 3:00 in the morning during the Quiet Storm type shit.
Damn.
So I don't know if that's the way they did that, but
and it's like Kamar, even though you said I didn't have to pay for it, it's like they made you fill out that form for your business for tax purposes, so you got to put that shit on your taxes.
Oh wow! So I didn't even know.
Yeah, because it's a $2,000 worth of airtime, so they definitely making so you got to put
I'm sure
that
they
need to be played. It need to play.
I'm sure they play. They probably playing it right now. You on somebody else?
Kev, I got
it's gonna play.
Games.
you gonna hear it on the radio in your sleep. Like the 5 heartbeats. You gonna wake up.
You should be able to get a schedule because they have every. The radio station got everything on schedule of what goes on. You know what I mean? So they should be able to send you a schedule. I was in talks with 98.3 about running some Meatless Monday commercials. And
what they whacking for that? Because I want to advertise my book on.
Okay, well, see, it's gonna depend on. Okay, well, this way I was doing it. They was giving me a 4-day window, right? Mm-hmm. It was a 4-day window, and I think all together in those 4 days, oh man, I can't remember how many spots it was, but. I was supposed to give them 3. I was gonna give them 350, right? And they was gonna run the commercials from Monday, or no, not Monday. Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday. You know what I'm saying? And the way they can do it is like they'll set it up to how you would like it. You know what I mean? Depending on the price range you're trying to spend.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And you know what I mean? So what they did for me was they set it up according to like, okay, if Meatless Monday on Monday, let's start running the commercials on a Thursday so we could bunch them in more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of spreading them out through the whole week. And and you know what they do is they give you a schedule on when you know what I mean, when you can go to the radio to check for your commercial.
Yeah, I'm
so
gonna
that's
have to
what I'm saying, Courtney. You may be able to get in touch with somebody and get a schedule. But but that's fucked up though how they do that because they run that. Like, you know what I mean? They doing such a big thing. Like, okay, you finna get some prime time slots. You know what I'm saying? But then they don't even put you in none of the prime time slots. They put you in the late night cheap slots and all that type shit.
I'm sending the email right now, Kamar, but I'm saying for $2,000.
Because at late night, you know what I mean? The late night slots be cheap.
Traditionally,
and they may charge prime time like the way you said, like 2,000 or whatever, like that. They may be charging it as prime time for a slot or whatever.
But saying that it's 50 it might be for the cheapest 50 $2,000.
Traditionally, radio is the time
when,
slot.
When was they supposed to start?
It dictates the price. The time slot dictates.
They didn't tell me that. They didn't say that either. So I don't know. The last email was May 31st.
So typically, the time slot is what's going to dictate how much you're paying, because the morning drive and the lunch drive are the two highest
Right.
listenership type shit. So
Right.
you're gonna pay. So the day really don't matter. It's more about
And
the
a lot
time.
of the time they usually give you a spot, one spot in that time.
And
If
and
you
a lot
like,
of times,
depending on how much you spending, I mean.
a lot of times with radio now, especially with so much syndication, they'll charge you a little bit more. Like per se, if the Breakfast Club is on, and that's morning drive. So and that, I don't know how
Right.
they charge because they're not syndicated, and I don't. If they took a unique approach to how they structured their fees or
Well,
whatever, that's also possible too. But I think like you said, I think you just need to holler at them and just figure
and
it out.
the local
I
the
just sent it
local
off.
radio station is actually who gonna collect that fee. Like, okay, if you like, if the morning show on or whatever, you know what I'm saying. So you got the morning show playing. So like the radio station here in Milwaukee is actually the ones that will collect the money. Cause see, here in Milwaukee, the commercials run for Milwaukee.
Oh yeah, they're gonna collect it.
You know
They're
what
gonna
I mean?
collect
So that's the record
it.
label. I mean, it's record station here. I mean,
It's
not
part
record
of their
station,
operating,
radio.
but they're gonna charge extra because they're owned
Oh
by
yeah,
the
definitely.
conglomerate.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Oh
the
yeah,
station gonna collect the money. Yeah,
yeah.
we know that. That's
That's
how
their
they operate.
prime
But
time.
but it's owned by iHeartRadio. So well, and that's Good Karma Brands that you were rocking with. The truth, I believe is. So that they may have a different structure. Let us know what they say. Hit us up and let us know how they handle you. So
You
if
know
other
I
people
will.
got small businesses and they want to get involved, we can advise them. Now, there we did reach a menacing milestone. There was we reached our 100th homicide already, right? Like in early June. And apparently this was a 14-year-old girl. And so, the violence continues in the city. While people are talking and making plans and having meetings and writing up paperwork, people in the community are actually dying. I guess this is why I kind of went with the whole one nation thing because my message to black people is always that we have to do us. Like I keep referencing this. A couple weeks ago we did a show called Hurry Up and Wait. We talked about the whole mentality, and every time black people need something, every time we say this has to happen in our community, we have an issue with this or that, somebody turns to you and says, well, just wait. Just hold on. Like, we gonna get it. We gonna have a meeting. We're gonna meet up with these people, and we're gonna put something together. We're gonna write this up, then we're gonna put this down. And it's always wait. It's always hurry up and wait. And nobody's acting with a sense of urgency. Like we give these politicians, and not only politicians, but we give leaders in general. It could be your supervisor at your job or whatever. We give them an infinite amount of time to get shit done. We don't say, no, this got to happen right now. You say, hey, boss, we got to catch up. Well, I put it in order. Bruh, we got to catch up right now. People pulling up wanting hamburgers.
Right.
Catch up or vegan burgers, whether if Kamara in the car or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
I want my motherfucking vegan burger.
Right.
I ain't playing.
I'm trying to be diverse.
Don't
So
play with me.
yeah, man. So I'm just saying, like, and I feel like this is right now because what's gonna happen is people are gonna make some noise about this homicide, and then it's gonna be like a thing in the media for a minute, and then they're gonna come out and say, well, we already working on it because we just talked about this. Monday night they unveiled the police department in the Journal Sentinel, and it's in the People's News Network where they talked about this community policing initiative, and they announced what they wanted to do and the challenges that the department faced. They down damn near 300 officers over a period of, I guess, 10 years or something like that. And all that meant to me is just wait. We trying to just hold on, man. We just wait. Y'all gonna be all right. Go ahead, man. Y'all just stay in the house. We put a curfew up for downtown type shit. Once again, I don't want to kind of take a crap on them what they want to, because at least hopefully they're trying something, because we've heard this a million times over the past 10 years. I know Kamara and I was taken at one point. We was keeping track of how many times this same group of individuals would be on the news behind Mayor Barrett to announce an anti-violence initiative. Every time it got hot, like in the weekend, 20 people murdered. Monday, Barrett's there with the same people. And for a minute, it was the same $8 million. He promised that motherfucking $8 million to a bunch. I don't know whoever got that shit. I don't know if they just, got down and shot dice for the shit or what. But for a minute, people would die. He'd be like, well, I'm gonna get you motherfucking $8 million. And there'd be some dudes standing back there like, yeah. And it'd always be like, well, we need a community. We need y'all. which is something we also talk about, is the responsibility that we bear for what's going on in our community, right? Like, so it's something to think about that we're at 100 homicides right now, because for all intents and purposes, it's looking like we're going to shatter this record again. And this will be, I believe, the third year in a row. Now, keep in mind, this record stood for the better part of almost 20 years, because it was set when I was about 17 in like 1993, right? Or 92. Kamar, you remember that year when everybody got killed? It was just like, damn. Black people dead everywhere. They stopped selling
You
liquor.
came outside one day and half your friends was gone.
Right. Everybody got killed.
Everybody.
It was just, it was like that book. It was like that book y'all talked about the other day, Left Behind.
Listen, I'm telling you, it sounds funny, but there was a time in Milwaukee, I would say even from about 1988 to 1993 or 94, where realistically it did seem like everybody you knew was getting killed. Like, it wasn't nothing for you to come to school and people looking funny in middle school, early high school. What happened? So-and-so got killed last night. What? Like, it was that for a long time. So, I think in 92 it peaked that summer, in which it was like 165 homicides, which at that time we thought was crazy for a city the size of Milwaukee. So they started closing the liquor stores at 9 o'clock, putting a little thing on the TV. You know where your children are.
It's 10 o'clock in curfew in Milwaukee.
Right. Bars got to close now at 2:30. All this shit came once that happened. And so we went all these years. We got close to it, but we didn't break it. Then I guess 2 years ago, smashed it. Last year, we smashed it again. People say, that damn COVID. But I mean, so, and that's what you're going to hear when what's happening. Somebody's going to. I'm telling you,
because that's when everybody started. So they started screaming, man. All the different organizations in Milwaukee who in charge of, you know what I mean, the violence and all that, who supposed to be trying to put a stop. That's when everybody started blaming it on COVID.
I mean, for a long time, and once again,
it was funny how you put that in there. Like,
I'm about our unity, and I'm about us winning. But the reality of it was, for a very long time, we were calling people out saying, hey, what y'all doing? What y'all doing? What y'all doing? And almost everybody unilaterally came to an agreement that we was doing good. Then the pandemic came, fucked everything up. We ain't been able to get this shit right since. And we was like, fuck, like, what are you talking about? So it was like, we'll get it together. Just wait. Just hold on. Just wait.
Right.
I mean, right. And I do prayers and condolences to people who, like, especially when it's an egregious crime, we come back after the weekend. And I always say prayers and condolences to the family. Most definitely prayers and condolences to the family of that 14-year-old sister, but prayers and condolences to the families of all 100 people who have been murdered in this city. And I don't give a damn how you pointed at him, say, oh, this motherfucker was trying to rob somebody, he got murked. Or, man, he set somebody up, he got murked. He was snitching, he got murked, whatever. Anybody whose life was taken from somebody else should be given a lot of respect, and it should be prayers and condolences, because no human has the right to take another human's life, regardless of what the shit even I talk on here about, catching somebody in my yard and dropping the truck, kicking the jack out from under the truck, and they trying to steal my catalytic and shit.
Hey, kid, dog, I got a confession.
What's that?
You got to, like, dog, the very next morning after that show, right? Car come down the street. I heard a boom. Motherfucker hit the back corner of my truck, right? They didn't smash it up, but they just hit it enough to knock that whole back brake unit off. You know what I'm saying? So knock that shit off, right? So I'm sitting there. We heard this shit. I look out the window, and we see the car. They slowed up. They kind of opened the door, look at their car to see what was fucked up or whatever. But all the whole time, I'm on my way outside. By the time they got to the corner, I'm coming outside, getting in my truck. Dog, I chased these motherfuckers down. I damn near caught them. I'm huffing and puffing, man. But then I started thinking, right? If I catch these motherfuckers, either I'm finna do something fucked up to them and wind up in prison, or they gonna do something fucked up to me. But either way, the situation is finna go bad, right?
Right.
I stopped.
Okay. And went home?
I'm proud of you, Kamar, because
I stopped. I was close enough. They couldn't. I'm in this big ass Denali, right? They're in a fucking minivan, raggedy ass minivan. They couldn't get away.
Right.
I could have aired their shit out.
But I still got to give.
But like I said, you know what I mean. Like to me, the consequences ain't. You know what I mean? It ain't that for me, man. You know what I'm saying? I know what it's like to sit in that cell. I know what that 23 in and 1 out feel like. You know what I'm saying? That shit ain't nothing nice. I know what it feel like when everybody quit fucking with you.
I still got to get it to you, Kamar. I'm gonna tell you why. Hey,
look, man, listen. I'm a winner in that situation. You could walk all you want all night. You know what I mean? But nigga, I'm a winner in that. You know why? Let me tell you. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I ain't sitting in no cell right now.
I hear you.
You know what I mean? I'm down here in my basement, in my comfortable basement where I do my work at. You know what I mean? Right in the kitchen, tea going and shit, brewing, getting money. You know what I mean? But if I'd have did that dumbass shit.
Okay, now I'm glad you. First of all, let's say this. I'm glad you're not in jail. I'm glad you didn't do nothing stupid. I'm glad that you're okay. I'm gonna give you that. And I'm glad you did the right thing, Kamar. I'm gonna also give you that. But I'm gonna call bullshit on you because you ran out the house and jumped in the truck and took off behind them when the other night you was the motherfucker levitating in the living room to say, I will not compromise my integrity and let anger take her. You wasn't thinking about that when you ran your ass about that house today. And if you'd have caught him or you took a deep breath, you might have put somebody else.
When I first ran out there, I was going to catch up to him because in my mind, we finna pull up and talk about this shit.
Okay.
But as we start chasing, I'm getting madder and madder. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm understanding how I'm getting upset. So now, okay, wait a minute. I know this feeling.
Right.
Let me back up for a second. You know what I'm saying, man? Let me ease this shit back.
I'm laughing.
And not only that, Kev did this. If I'd have did something to them niggas in that minivan, how would everybody be looking at me right now?
I be thinking about that, Kev.
You dig what I'm saying, man? It's a lot. We got a lot on the line here. You know what I mean? And that night, even the other night, I told you, I said, look, Kev, I ain't no punk ass nigga or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm from that shit. It's a struggle. There's levels to this shit. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody 100% there. If any motherfucker ever tell you they completely got it, nigga, they lying.
Right.
That's why I was so willing to come on here and talk about I got a confession. You dig what I'm saying? I ain't all the way there.
That's what I was saying.
You dig what I'm saying? I ain't all the way there.
And
I think it's important.
Down Fond du Lac. So that's when you finally realize it, like, oh shit, I'm fucking smashing down North Avenue doing 80. I better calm down and go back home. You probably done ran 3 people over.
Well, no, if I'd have did that, I'd have stopped. I wouldn't have did the same shit these niggas would have did.
You was in the finale, you don't know if you hit him or not.
Then I'd have been pissed. Because I didn't catch myself before then.
And you
just like I would. You know what I mean? I was upset that I let myself take off out there.
Right. Hey, we get there, but once you catch yourself, you bring yourself back. That's that emotional intelligence.
Yeah,
that's funny. That's funny though,
man. And that's and you know the objective is when situations arise, the objective is to be peaceful before the situation, when the situation arises, and after. You're supposed to stay even keel through it all. That's the goal. You know what I'm saying? That's how you raise this spiritual strength. You know what I'm saying? You learn how to do this where peace don't disturb.
The whole point of the conversation the other night was that a motherfucker can take you there, and before you know it, you'll be done reacted. That was my point. I wasn't it whether or not you stopped or whether or not you didn't or whether you caught yourself or whether you whatever you did. What my point was the other night, motherfuckers will take you there and you will jump out there and you will get right back to where you say you would never go. And it don't take much to do it. It's a truck. They hit your truck. So it came by, it jumped out of you. So that's my point. It ain't about, oh yeah, of course it ended up great for you because you didn't do nothing wrong.
No, your point was you was gonna do something to him, nigga. Your point was you was gonna do something to him. I would have. I accidentally kicked the stand down and hurt him. You know what I mean? Like my thing is I ain't trying to hurt nobody.
I tell you what, If you got out
The
there,
difference in my mind, take care of is I ain't trying to hurt nobody.
The thing is, if you'd have got out there right away and caught them dudes right away, talking about we finna talk, and the motherfuckers had to act greasy, you'd have jumped down. You wouldn't have, it ain't all you got time. You had time to say, well, what am I doing? After you in the midst of a high speed, you didn't stop yourself immediately, like, you know what, I ain't gonna even chase these motherfuckers. I'm just gonna go in the house and call the police. You could have said I got their plate number. I ain't even tripping. You jumped in, boom, boom. I mean, that was my point. Now, like I said, I'm not backing up from the fact that I did say if I catch you in my driveway, laying under my truck, cutting my catalytic converter off, if I can kick the jack down, I'm kicking it down on your ass. Because you don't have no business in my fucking driveway. I'm standing on that. It is what it is. What I'm telling you is in everybody. It ain't always, I'm just saying, I'm good. You was like, you came up out the house with fury. So, I mean,
like I said, my intention when I first got in the truck, man, I was thinking I was going to catch up to him and talk to him.
Because motherfuckers in Milwaukee want to talk to you after they hit your shit and run off.
Well, hey, man, you know what I mean? That was my intent.
Right. Okay. We'll call that righteous intent, right?
I just said I got upset as I chased him down. I got to chase him. Now I'm getting pitched.
Sound like you got to about 2 stages of anger.
Levels to this shit, you know what I'm saying? That's what I said.
Right.
Okay, it was a time when I'd have took off outside, like ready to do some harm to a motherfucker, looking to do harm.
Right.
But for some reason, I felt like we was finna talk.
They probably would have done some harm to you.
I seen the way they hit the corner when they seen me get in my car.
They probably would have done harm to you if you'd have caught up.
They probably would have. And that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? We don't. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, everything you got going for yourself, is it worth it?
Well, we'll find out when we halfway down.
You know what I mean? Like, you got kids. Do you really want to be there for them? Because one way or another, you ain't gonna be there after you do the wrong thing. Right. One way or another, you ain't finna be there.
Shout out to Jesse Parrish in the chat room. He said, "Peace, Outlaws. This is Shay and Kruma. What's going on, my brother?" Crystal Ship in the chat room. She said, "Courtney Francois was out here looking extra fine today."
I was, man.
He's out here stunting on him.
I was the world, man.
He's out here stunting, right? Okay, everybody doing good. That's good to know. People shine bright, right? Like, that's what's up.
Yeah.
It's about to be Father's Day weekend, I guess. Is this what this is about to be this weekend? Is this and I don't, Father's Day doesn't hold a whole lot of weight with me because obviously, first of all, because my father's deceased, but second of all, as a father, I don't feel like there's a day where we get treated, it's just a Saturday most of the time for us as fathers. It's like, oh, happy Father's Day, but I mean, what does it really mean? So what's the significance? I get it's a pagan holiday. I don't need nobody trying to enlighten me talking about, it's all about the Hallmark.
Right.
I understand that shit.
They don't want you to celebrate shit.
Right. The motherfucker just shut you all the way down. Like, damn, why we have Christmas? See, it's all about a Hallmark edition bread. Like, goddamn.
As long as you know, Kev.
Of Father's Day. What is that? What does that mean? What should it mean? As a father, what would we like to collectively see happen on Father's Day? What should it mean? And I'm talking to all my brothers who got kids out there. And if you ain't raising your kids, don't say nothing. I ain't talking about child support. I'm saying if you ain't raising them, you don't take care of them, you ain't even there in their life, you can't respond. I guess for me, I think if we're gonna say we're gonna have a Father's Day the same as Mother's Day, in which you just really reflect on the importance of your mom and all the things she's done for you, and all the sacrifices she's made for you. I don't feel like you get that same kind of thing on Father's Day. I feel like it's just kind of like, all right, man, here you go, man. Like, it's I feel like it's a throwaway holiday. I would like to see it be more meaning behind what Father's Day actually is. Is there a Father's Day parade? Because there's Mother's Day parades. Is there a Father's Day parade? I ain't never seen that.
Depending on who's celebrating you, though, Kev, because Mother's Day, shit, my baby daddy just was like, Happy Mother's Day. I mean, he said the same thing to his mama. Like that.
Right.
That was the same thing that was just, that was it. Like, damn. No card, no gift, no flowers, just some words. Like,
no, I hear what you're saying there.
So,
but so it's supposed to be. But if you'd have turned on the television, if you'd have turned on the radio, whatever you'd have looked at, all you would have heard is Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day. It's specials. It's restaurants. People going to church and you can't even get in El Greco's because the line is back
Okay.
out. So I'm saying for Father's Day, it don't necessarily be that same kind of action. It'd be like, yeah, line's a little bit shorter, less gifts bought, and so I'm just like, as a father, I feel some kind of way, like if you're gonna make this Mother's Day this big significant thing, then I feel like we should do more for Father's Day. Can we get some fireworks or something? Men love fireworks. We like to see shit explode and fire or something. Like we do something like a fire show for
Well,
us.
y'all didn't set these standards. Y'all should have set these standards. Y'all should put this out there and let it be known. Women gonna keep giving y'all whatever.
I mean, blow some shit up or something. Like, hey,
some explosions and shit.
Right, yeah, man. All y'all
get y'all ass some fireworks.
Yeah, damn.
Like the kids in the hood.
I'm just saying, man. I mean, you can, buy some old property or something, get some old property somewhere, and be like, hey, we're gonna demolish this building this day for Father's Day, and we all come out, drink beer and watch the building fall and shit. Like, I mean, men like simple shit. Like, I don't know.
That's simple, Kev.
I feel underappreciated as a father. Not because my family is pretty good at letting me know that they appreciate me as the father. But I'm saying with the significance of this holiday, right? And like you said, it depends on who's celebrating you, because my family will celebrate me and say, Dad, we love you. Happy Father's Day. My wife would say, well, what you want? What's your favorite meal? And slide a gift or whatever. So it'd be cool. I'm just saying, like, overall, when I turn on the TV, I don't see the same kind of love coming back. I don't feel it's a lot of heat coming from the end of that couch. And then it's always, especially with black men, they be like, well, we would sell. Maybe that's it. In the black community, ain't celebrated because they don't think we fathers. No way. I think all us got multiple baby mamas.
I mean, but when you say the black community, what do you mean? Like BET? Because I mean, most of the channels is white. Most of them was like Hallmark. So most of it's women based anyway. So when you say men and not seeing it on TV, what do you want to see it on? Like BET? Is that what you're looking for on the black channels?
I want all that shit. I want all the accoutrements.
But do you be looking at them channels? Okay, so this weekend, look, I'm gonna look online and see what they got showing on them. I'm gonna look right now. What the fuck they got playing this weekend? I bet you it's gonna be like Baby Boy. It's gonna be all that shit for y'all.
See, that's not a good Father's Day movie to watch.
It's not at all. It's not.
He's a bad example.
It's horrible.
Bad example.
That's like showing. That's like showing. That's like showing Precious on Mother's Day. Like Happy Mother's Day, and then you show Precious and shit. Monique on there, like, bitch, I hate you. It's like, nah,
but
man.
But that should be there in the reality of the whole. Yeah, that would hit a spot for a lot of women. Ooh, wait. That'd be rough. That would be rough. Yeah.
Shout out to the fathers, man. Shout out to all the black fathers, man. I always say how a long time ago, a sister somewhere, I don't know, I know it was in a professional setting, like I was in a training or something, and it was talking about the plague of the lack of fathers, and I was talking about, that's not actually true, because I know too many brothers who are there for their children, and the girl says, well, what do you tell, or the woman says, what do you tell your guys who deadbeats? I'm like, I don't got no guys that deadbeats. I guys that's deadbeat dads, right? Like, so, I mean, what I'm gonna tell them, even if they was, what could I tell him? Besides, you ain't shit. You don't take care of your kids. Now, he probably would get teased a lot every time he bought himself something new. Like, you should have went to meet your son, motherfucker. Man, you see my new Benz? You ain't never took your son to school in it, motherfucker. See, we do shit like that to each other. Like, you don't even know if that's your son and your daughter dating. You ain't seen your son since he was born. Find his son and shit. Like, fuck y'all. But yeah, man. Another thing is Juneteenth Day, right? Happy Juneteenth, y'all.
Is that on Father's Day?
It's this weekend, ain't it?
It is Father's Day.
What day is Father's Day? Is it a day or?
It's on Juneteenth.
See, y'all got Juneteenth every year. Now y'all got a federal holiday and all types of shit. Ooh.
We got Juneteenth and Father's Day.
And they extended Martin Luther King 5 blocks downtown.
It's double time.
We, as they say. Listen, Juneteenth Day. It is a national holiday right now, and I'm still pissed because black people fucked the whole thing up because y'all went in on this ice cream. Yeah. I'm gonna be salty with my community for that for a very long time.
Yeah,
very long time.
Right, I've been salty about the ice cream. I didn't even get to taste the shit. Y'all could have just relaxed long enough for me to give me a pint or two.
He was mad at us about this ice cream.
I was pissed. I ranted like 3 weeks in a row on the show about the ice cream getting snatched off the shelves, and I'm I'm starting to feel that anger boil up again. Like I'm gonna have to do like Kamar, take some deep breaths and some shit.
You know, we be fucking everything up. That's why we ain't got Angel Mama on there. We ain't got dude on the cream of weed box no more. You know, everybody we be fucking up. Ain't no black folks on there.
I ain't really mad at that though. I mean, Aunt Jemima, I was cool even though she had a perm. I was glad she was gone. I felt like the name Jemima was the most insulting part about it because who's named Jemima? Like if you name your daughter Jemima, you asking for it. You need your ass whooped, right? Like so, I felt like that was cool. And then the Uncle Ben thing was just a little generic too, and especially in light of the butler and the help and all of that kind of shit. You know, I felt like that was kind of negative, Courtney. So I can't. The ice cream I could deal with. It ain't like it had Frederick Douglass on the cover with a cone of ice cream.
What do you mean it was kind of negative? I mean, we did every time we have stuff, we get to complain and they take that shit away. We just had our own little Juneteenth ice cream, then we start, what is that? Why they do that now?
I know, but I'm talking about Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben. Like I wasn't mad when they took them away. I felt Jemima was just it was offensive, right? Like could you imagine? Like I said, nobody names their daughter Jemima. Say, hey, little Jemima, how you doing? What the fuck you name her?
It used to be some Jemimas and some Eulas and all of that. Back then it was. We had them back then. We just don't now. We got no Eulas now.
None of that is the same as Jemima. No matter how you draw it. I've had some really old people in my family, right? Uncle Nicodemus and Cousin Hezekiah. I don't have no Jemima, right? I've even known some Uncle Ben's. Like, hey, Uncle Ben.
That's exactly why we need an Aunt Jemima, just because we ain't got nans. We don't even know we're gonna see another one now.
Hey, I just seen an article about
Aunt Jemima was keeping the community together.
She was. Now look, now we got Pildridge Farms or some shit.
She was keeping the community because it was stuck from that sticky ass.
See, we don't even know the black man name on the cream of wheat box. He gone too. We don't even know him.
What was his name? Willie Lump Lump. What was his name?
That was it. Gone now. We ain't got him.
What was his name? Oh, cream of wheat, smooth, nigga, smooth. He had finger waves, didn't he? We got finger waves. Fuck it, y'all take the ice cream. Just take all that shit. Fuck it. I'm just saying.
Hey man, it should have been somebody black who made it. That's all I'm saying.
I heard that it was.
Thought about it.
Yeah, it was a lady who.
That's all I'm saying.
It's a black lady who got the same identical red velvet ice cream. So that's what people was upset about, saying that they took her flavor and slapped Juneteenth on it.
Now, kid.
Well, see, now because that's hypocritical.
They stole it. They stole it from a black lady.
On Juneteenth, that's what they do.
You ain't mad at that?
Nah,
they stole some Juneteenth ice cream from a black lady.
We celebrate being free from us still.
Black people hypocrites, man, because y'all didn't take the ice cream man off the shelf when you found out the Loonies really wrote it and Master P didn't write it. So why you gonna do
that? We fuck with Master P too. We fuck with all of them. They black.
That was what you call an old nigga rap reference right there. Like people like Master who?
That was that cut there. That sampled that world class.
Hey, I didn't know that. I didn't know that real.
Man,
I didn't know that they took it from a black lady. It's a black lady recipe.
Yeah,
no. She didn't have the exact same recipe. She didn't have. It wasn't the same makeup. It wasn't
velvet cake.
It was red. You can't with anybody who got red velvet go get to take that shit off. It's another. No, man, there's room for more than one ice cream.
I mean, you still probably stole it from them.
Because they had other black flavors. They could have did peach cobbler ice cream, sweet potato pie ice cream.
Nah,
they did red velvet.
I'm a fan of goddamn. Red velvet would have been on here too, though. Red velvet or peach cobbler.
Then Patti LaBelle would have sued. Patti LaBelle.
Right.
That was mine.
That's what they should have did.
Patti LaBelle should have did it.
If they really wanted it to be received, they should have had it under the Patty's Pie brand.
They should.
Patty's sweet potato pie, Juneteenth ice cream, or some shit.
Yep, they fucked everybody up. Nobody would have researched that.
Right. Nobody would look that up. Yeah.
But Juneteenth,
nobody would have researched that.
They wouldn't.
Juneteenth Day. A lot of people say, "Why do we have Juneteenth Day?" So, a quick explanation of Juneteenth Day.
What it's wild.
It is first. It is okay. So, there's a group of slaves in Texas, right?
Yeah, I was in Texas
during the Civil War when the country was divided. So, you had the Union and you had the Confederacy, and what Abraham Lincoln basically did was, in order to save his party because they were so divided, he sided on being or getting rid of abolishing slavery, right? But what he did to do that was he freed the slaves in the Confederacy, which he had no governance over. Right? Understand that, first of all. All right, we had war. Well, fuck it then. I free all y'all slaves. You don't have no governance down here. So these slaves in Texas did not know or were unaware that there had been the Emancipation Proclamation, because obviously they were behind enemy lines. They were in Texas. So when they first rolled up on them and said, basically, you ride them, said, "What y'all doing, man?" And they're like, "Oh, what you talking about? We free." What? You bullshit. Nah, man, y'all ain't heard. It was that kind of thing.
Dog, you gotta make a movie on this shit.
Niggas see y'all ain't
the way
heard.
You explained that, you really gotta make a movie on this.
So what you mean we free, man? We free, man. Yeah. We ain't got to do this no more. Said what?
Take them damn chains and shit off, man. What y'all doing, man?
So where we going though? It don't matter. We free.
Right. And you know, it was at least one black dude who was like, "Fuck that. I ain't trusting them motherfuckers. I'm keeping my chains on."
Right. That's what I said. You're like, I'm staying here. Fuck what y'all talking about.
He kept his shit locked down.
I'm gonna wait till Master tell me I'm free. Nigga, he ain't said so.
So this is supposed to be a culture, like a cultural festival, right? Like a celebration of our culture, right? Like it's in the heart of the city. It's on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, which go a little bit further now.
That's on Mike, ain't it? That's on Mike Boulevard.
Right. Yeah. Michael King. Right. It's on his strip. Because here we always say that Martin is his rap name, right? Because people don't know his name is actually Michael King, right? Like, so,
right.
Man, I used to get so much backlash for saying that shit on the show. Like, people used to hit me like, "Dude, you out of order for saying that about Martin Luther King." I'm like, no, go and look it up. His name is Michael King. Martin Luther King was his rap name. His daddy changed his name when they was young so they could honor Martin Luther. The event. What was he, real?
Mike King sound like he pushed weight. That's why they changed his name for real. To Martin Luther, so he could be a pastor, because Mike King had them bricks flipping.
Right, there would have been no nonviolence if he'd have stayed Mike.
Mike King got that work.
I was thinking if I would have had a daughter,
he was cheating on his wife, but he started telling the other women his name Martin.
What you say, Courtney?
I was saying, if I would have had a daughter, I would name her Courtney Jr. Does that just automatically make me a senior, or do I put the senior at the end of my name?
You said, now, if you had a daughter and you named her Courtney
Jr.
Courtney Jr.
You ain't never heard no female have a junior. That's what I'm saying. What if?
I know a few women who I know a few women who named one of their daughters their name, and they're just little.
But is there a junior though?
No, they're just little. Little
junior on there.
Little Maria, little Kay.
I don't. The whole junior thing. I think now that you say that, I kind of look at it like it's something just to stroke the man's ego, because you're right. Women name their daughters after themselves all the time, but they don't. Is there a female connotation for like
just little?
So it's I think that might be just something that's a remnant of a time when the man really mattered in the household, and he could acknowledge saying, "That's my boy, that's the heir," by giving him junior. But you're right. You don't see I'm Felicia
so
Anderson.
I can't do the same with a female. That's my heir. That's my girl.
Right. I guess you could, but I would, it'd be kind of weird.
Courtney Senior and my big.
Maybe they look at it like this with a girl. I mean, well, at least back in the day, her last name was gonna change anyway, so she wouldn't be a junior for long. With the dude, his name is gonna always be that junior.
And I'll tell you something else. The latest innovation what women do now is they hyphenate the name, right?
Yeah,
like
it'd
be Courtney so and so. What is it? Hyphen whatever. So it'd be Jackson Johnson as
opposed. She would have had her daddy last name, but then she'd just be a junior because that's little me.
Hey, how about George Foreman? How he named all his boys the same?
George and Georgette.
They all named Georgina.
Well, he got all of his boys are named George, I believe, because he has some daughters too. But I think maybe the girls are named Georgetta or something.
I think it's like George.
I know the boys named George.
Georgia, some shit.
Right? Wow, he's creative. Ace Cooley, man, my man, 50 grand, man. He said, "What it do, everybody? What's going on? What's going on, Ace? Man, for a long time."
What up, cuz?
Jesse said they had a discussion about this on another black platform, and some were saying the slaves knew, but he said he was saying how good they have known unless someone told them. And we had so I agree, man. I don't what I think is this. I think the Emancipation Proclamation was some bullshit, and of course I'm playing armchair back.
It was.
Let me read his whole statement. He was saying he's like, how could they have known unless okay. So so I was saying I think it's bullshit because if you go back and you really learn about Abraham Lincoln, you find out that Abraham Lincoln did not like black people, right? And there's some people who say Abraham Lincoln was part black, right? I mean,
that's what they say.
Was a peculiar looking fellow.
He was.
Right.
he has a speech where he says that if he had his choice,
if he could bring peace without freeing the niggers,
right. He had no favor for black people, right? So if that individual who really don't give a shit about you, and you gotta realize, now I get people are gonna say, Kev, that's stupid of you to say that there's bullshit because that's a step in the right direction. But I'm saying if the way they freed the slaves, because you didn't even really commit to them being totally free.
No.
Right? Like you gave them, okay, well, we just don't say you own them anymore. But as a slave, you had absolutely no rights to do nothing except for not be chained, but even in some cases, you still were chained. Because how long did a lot of those?
Hey, and how about they ain't had no money to go do nothing either.
Right, so I'm saying how many of those?
And they did find out they ain't had no money to do shit.
How many of those communities kept those same policies in place forever? It wasn't like Abraham them was riding through there saying, "Hey, we came to do a slave check. Y'all better not have no slaves right here." Like,
right.
So it was like a half-hearted attempt to say we freed the slaves. I feel like it was something just to save face because I think
it was for show.
Around the world was looking saying, "Land of the what? Home of the who? You motherfuckers got slaves. Y'all gonna come over here and tell us what to do?" So there's that, and then there's the thing that these slaves actually celebrated. But here's the thing. They didn't celebrate when it was signed. It was like, well, wait until the white folks come and tell us we free. Just wait. It's one of them wait things again. So I feel like I do appreciate this, the people getting together and saying, okay, we're gonna celebrate ourselves. I appreciate that. But I think it's all just, trumped up charges in the kangaroo court. I really don't think it has any kind of significance.
Well, you're right. But hey, you're right. I feel like this. They give us lemons, make lemonade, right?
Right.
If they make a day that's supposed to be, if they would make a day that's supposed to be for us, a national holiday, we have to take charge of that. You know what I mean? We have to dictate what moves for that holiday. Just like you said, talked about the ice cream. You know what I mean? Okay, if we feel like that ain't moving for Juneteenth, that can't make it. No, we cross that shit off the list. You can't do it. You know what I mean? It's got to be somebody black, somebody we approve of.
At least get my opinion.
You know what I mean? Like we have to take charge of this shit somehow and benefit off of it since it's a national holiday. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we got Juneteenth. Well, a lot of black people do benefit from that because from the Juneteenth Day parades and the Juneteenth Day event. You know what I mean? Like, we just have to do shit that's going to help us benefit off of this holiday. You know what I mean? People who make clothes or do clothes, they do the Juneteenth brands. Buy your Juneteenth clothes from the black people who make this shit. You know what I'm saying? We just have to figure out how to keep it ours.
I still think it was funny that you got rid of the ice cream, but there's shelves of merchandise sitting right next to it that's Juneteenth themed too, and that shit ain't all my black people. So
the ice cream is where we learn from.
Right.
Now we move on to the next. We move on to the next issue. What else we gonna get off these
Juneteenth Day napkins out of here? We don't want no Juneteenth Day plates.
Right.
People gonna be serving all kinds of ribs.
What else we gonna get off these shells? You know what I mean?
Right. Nah,
man. Who else can we stop from benefiting off us?
Somebody tell me this, and if you're out there listening, if you can Google this, because Kamar just said something that got my wheels turning. Because he said, if they gave us this holiday, see now, if this is a bone that they threw us, I'd like to know, is this a result of, I know Carter G. Woodson did the whole thing with Black History, and so we got a little bit more self-aware when we started to really learn some of our history that had been kept from us. So is this something that resulted from that? Or so if you out there, who started Juneteenth Day? Because I don't want it to be like Kwanzaa. And I believe me, I get to crack around Christmas with everybody. They be mad at me talking about Happy Kwanzaa. And I'm like, Merengue was a snitch, right? He was a government conspirator, right? Like, he's a rapist, right? He was a drug addict at one point in his life.
We don't want to hear that, Kev. Happy Kwanzaa. Celebrate. You know what they say.
But he don't benefit off. But he don't benefit off of it.
I don't know how we don't know how he
benefit off of it.
We don't know. You don't know how he benefits off.
That's what I'm asking. I don't know.
I know. I'm saying I don't know. I don't know either.
I doubt if he could benefit off of that. That's what I'm saying. Like even with that, right? Like stuff like even with that, we could take that back if we could get, enough solidarity with each other. You know what I mean? We could take that back, just like I said with the Juneteenth shit. You know what I mean? Who else can we stop from benefiting off of us?
Right. I don't. He's like a professor now. He's all the way exonerated by white America at this point, coincidentally, as he was a government informant, right? And so a government conspirator. So he may have a deal in place in which he can get some percentages off some of the.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. If it is, and we can find out how he benefits off of this, we can figure out how to cut him off from this.
Right. Happy Kwanzaa, motherfuckers. Right. That shit. Bullshit ass shit.
Still every year I still do present the 7 principles of Kwanzaa and how we can live it out in our everyday lives of unity and cooperative works and group economics. So the principles are still fly, and it still helps people with identifying a culture. Like that's the bottom line, man. Our culture was snatched from us. So we got to put bullshit together and try to make something that we all can agree to celebrate or unify on. Like even with Juneteenth, it's been going on in Wisconsin since I can remember, but it's now finally made a federal holiday. And just like capitalism in a nutshell, they always gonna find a way to capitalize on federal holidays. I mean, the Juneteenth plates was no different to me than seeing the American flag plates for 4th of July or green plates for St. Patrick's Day. Those are holidays that motherfuckers trying to get money off of. Like, I don't get mad at motherfuckers getting money. I just try to figure out how the fuck I can get some money.
Once again, Rel, if people go back on our original, and I think we had Brother Heal the Hood, Ajamu, and then we had the young sister who stayed with us, and we got into this discussion. And like I was saying, the same some bitch who was mad about the Juneteenth Day ice cream is drinking green beer on St. Patrick's Day, or going trying to Santa Claus shit on Christmas,
or getting tacos on Cinco de Mayo, Cinco de Mayo is another holiday where like all Mexicans don't celebrate Cinco de Mayo. That was only specific to a certain village in Mexico that held off the Spanish for like a battle. The Spanish came back and decimated them, but because of that one event, we think Cinco de Mayo is like a Mexican holiday when just like how Juneteenth was just for Galveston, Texas, Cinco de Mayo was just for that one little spot that, they always inflate and blow shit up.
Okay, so dig this. Celebrations date to 1866, at first involving church center community gatherings in Texas. They spread across the South and became more commercialized in the 20s and the 30s, often centering on a food festival. Participants in the Great Migration out of the South carried their celebrations to other parts of the country. During the civil rights movement of the 1960s, these celebrations were eclipsed by the nonviolent determination to achieve civil rights, but grew in popularity again in the 70s with a focus on African-American freedom and African-American arts, beginning with Texas, with a Texas proclamation in 1938 and legislation in 1979. Each U.S. state and the District of Columbia have formally recognized the holiday in some way. Okay. So it was something that we started, right? Okay. So that makes me feel a little bit better that the black people in Texas started to celebrate it. It became something that we did, and we kind of brought it with us, as opposed to them saying, guess what, y'all? Today's Juneteenth Day. Go celebrate your freedom. We said, yay. Mr. Charlie said, go celebrate our freedom today, y'all. So that's good. That's good.
But on the flip side of that, it's even worse that they took something that we was already doing and act like they doing us a favor by letting us do it anyway. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's like a gift type shit. Here go your sweater you got me. Hit, you know, like y'all was doing the shit anyway, but we gonna make it a legal holiday. I mean, shit. I wouldn't be happy unless I was off Monday. I understand it fall on a Sunday, but if you want to really make me happy, let me be off on Monday. Shit.
See, we are off. My job is off.
I was just gonna say it's a lot of jobs.
My job is like,
off. Like I know everybody that works at Target. Matter of fact, Target distribution center only get like 2 holidays. I think they get Christmas and Thanksgiving. They don't get none of the other holidays.
We're gonna go to work quick.
I'm calling in on that day. Fuck it. I'm observing my rights to be a black man and free. Shit.
Yes.
But I tell you what, regardless of the discussion that we have about the origins of it and why and who and what and where, Milwaukee does need to take a collective deep breath and have something like Juneteenth Day and really be able to look at each other and celebrate ourselves and look at each other and say, hey, man, we should be loving each other. We should be working. This is why one part of the reason why I said One Nation is because we should be collectively working to improve our community. Like, not just talking about it, right? Like, when Kamar and myself years back started talking about we wanted to do the boycott the prison campaign, and people saying, well, what are we supposed to do? Go march outside the prison? We said, no, just stop doing shit that'll get you put in the prison. And just have right. And so I feel like it's kind of the same thing where we keep talking about this shit. See, I know I'm a cynical, sarcastic, skeptical, pessimistic type of individual. So when I start seeing people giving speeches, one of the things that my ears mess up now when I see somebody going to one of these cliche filled speeches. We need to do this, and we are the people in there saying all, throwing Swahili in there and using some African terminology. Got somebody beating on a Congo. It's probably wrong for me to do, but I kind of side-eye this shit. Like, what you gonna do when the song go off? Right? Like when the drummer stopped drumming, then I see your ass around the corner. You got to get down about some other shit. Like, this motherfucker, go get me a sweet out the store. It's like I feel like we talk about this shit a lot, but we don't do anything about it. We talk about how long we've been talking about. Come on, in the 3.5 years you've been on this show, how many times have we had a discussion about stopping the violence in the community? Millions. Hundreds. How many people? We've had damn near the entire staff of the Office of Violence Prevention on our show. Reggie Moore.
Even when we was doing shows about health, we still talked about that stuff too, because a lot of that shit had to do with health too, right?
Right. Well, they had just declared it like a health hazard in the county, or racism and sugar. And we black people was like, well, tell us some shit we don't know, motherfucker. So I mean, once again, I feel like here we go. We got to wait until somebody makes up their mind for us to do better. Let's wait for the white man to declare our holiday a national holiday. We feel a lot better about it now, right? And it's good that the declaration was there, because it should have been there, but it should have been there from the time those slaves in Texas start celebrating it, or at least by the 70s, you'd have thought it's been a holiday. Now, but I do say this.
And see, and that's why I say, like, everything in the past, right? I ain't saying forget about it or nothing like that, but like right now, it's like, what do we do from here? What do we do at this point? Okay, yeah, they gave us a holiday. We could say it, which is really what happened, right? But what do we do from here? We got to take control of this shit and start making it so we benefit off of this shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you're going to give us a Juneteenth Day, well, okay, we're on Juneteenth Day. We know to fuck with black businesses. We know to fuck with people who do shit with the community. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to figure out how to benefit off of this without all the extra entities that's call themselves giving us holidays. You know what I'm saying? Benefiting from us.
Right. Ace Cooley said we got to make it what it is. We do. We can define it, but one thing I know about a lot of my people is we feel legitimized when something is accepted by white people, and for a lot of us, it's subconscious to say, "Shit, they made Juneteenth a national holiday. It's real now." But wasn't it all real? Like, girl, you just said calling in for work. I know a lot of people who have on Martin Luther King's birthday before they used to call in for what? Call in to work. My shit ain't up. What? I bet you I won't be at work tomorrow, right? Like,
Yeah.
we have the power. This is where we go back to one nation again, which we could pretty much do whatever we wanted to do as a people if we came together to do it. If we figured out a way to establish some structure so that we could be together, because unity ain't just given, right? It ain't just automatic for people to be able to get together and say, oh, we fine, we all agree, it's all good. You got to have some kind of system in place, some kind of hierarchy in place, so that everybody will be represented, so that everybody will be heard and all our needs will be met. But I think Milwaukee should have, and I don't know if they have because I ain't on the planning committee. I just feel like there should have been a massive, massive theme of nonviolence put onto Juneteenth Day. I felt like it should be such a close part. Like there should be a whole set of things happening at Juneteenth Day that represents stopping the violence in the community.
Like
right?
what?
I don't know who's gonna be there and that will do that.
And that's what I'm saying. This is stuff that I feel like we have to implement because they damn sure ain't gonna do it for us.
Stuff like what?
We have to make it for us.
Okay, so to answer your question, like Courtney, I think first of all, a lot of the things that I've done down there. Now, here's the deal: there's business, and then there's the celebration of our culture, right? So I don't know how they go about who can get a booth and who can be a vendor and who can set up here. I don't know if they charge. I don't know what they charge, right?
$225 to $3 something.
Is it? Okay.
Hell yeah, I look that shit hot.
So you have that, and money has to be raised. Money has to be raised.
Hey, look, you get it down there.
Right.
You gonna get it up.
Right. You there not before. You gonna get it.
I've been down there. I've done it.
But that's not my point.
You gonna get it up.
That's not my point. What I'm saying is, because that's fine. If you pay, you got business, you pay your money, you go down there and sell all the goddamn corn you can. Sell the goddamn all the motherfucking trinkets you can that's gonna break as soon as they leave. But no, but I'm saying there should have been some stages and some demands from some people who represent corporations in this city to set up additional stuff. Stages with youth-led initiatives, like kids being able to go down there and perform. And I'm not saying that they're not, but there should have been an emphasis on youth-led initiatives to have them involved in this process so they can stop and take a look and say, wait a minute, we need to jump on this sense of community. Because what's going to happen right now is you got a lot of thugged out youngsters, a lot of youngsters that's going to jail, a lot of youngsters that's getting in trouble. But in 10 years, about a fourth of those youngsters is going to want to get involved in community shit. They're going to say, I turned my life around. I want to be an activist. I want to go and teach kids. I want to go and work with kids. If we jumped on them right now and taught them about how they could get involved in their own community, it would be easier for them to make the transition as opposed to waiting. Like I said, like, well, we let them get a little bit older. We wait on it. No, start putting it in their heads right now that the bullshit y'all on is not going to last. It's not going to work out for y'all. I know it's glamorous. Who don't want to be on YouTube or Snapchat with 100,000 views hanging out the top of the key or going down the wrong side of Capitol or whatever? That's temporary instant gratification. But they need to be taught that life is going to keep going if you live, and you got to prepare yourself to be able to deal with this society. So you're going to need some skills. You need to be able to work money. You're going to need financial literacy. You're going to need to live in a community where you can prosper and be safe. I feel like some of those initiatives can start at Juneteenth Day and then extend throughout the year, and even something that's annual. Because I feel like the spirit of Juneteenth should go year round. Maybe we should have one in the wintertime too. If we can just make up Kwanzaa and throw that shit out there, we can have Juneteenth Day around Christmas, right? Karanga. Man, come on, man. That dude's a joke. Ace Cooley, shit, we need our own black veterans legally carrying. They're to protect us from violence, because somebody black don't mean they aren't up to no good. No, I entirely agree. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. We know that. And like I said, once again, black people by and large are such a great group of people to know. We are the funnest people to hang out with. You ain't had fun. And I've had white dudes go around some black people and be like, dude, that was the first time, man, it was like, oh, man, it was fucking great. I know it was, because we are the funnest people to be around. We are loving people. We creative. We want to sit around and just chill, go get our money and chill. But there's a small percentage of our population that's so disenfranchised and so disillusioned that they'll look at those of us who are happy and say, I'm finna fuck his day up. I'm finna hit Kamar's Denali that he worked hard for in my minivan and smash off, right? Like, and fuck him. Who cares if his insurance goes up? Who cares about his car note? Who cares if that's his only way of transportation? And 9 times out of 10, it was another person of color who hit your shit and didn't give a damn, right? Like, so there's a small percentage of our community that operates in that fashion. And so we keep talking about how we gonna deal with that. How do we match that energy? Should it be where some of us just need to be strapped up to draw down on our own in the community? Say, put that shit down, motherfucker.
That's my plan.
Catalytic converter. That's your plan.
But then I think it's not the right plan. See, I be thinking that's what I always think in my head. But then I'm like, Courtney, if that situation comes, that's not good. You know, and us being people of, you know, black folks, people of color, whatever we want to call ourselves, that shit gonna go left for us. We gonna fuck around and shoot at somebody and we going to jail. You know, white person fuck around and shoot at us, you know, we done hit their car or some shit. They'll fuck around and be justified. Us, reckless something.
There's the line in the sand, Courtney, because guess what? The white people that we entrust to do it are already shooting us. So what's the difference? They already losing it, going to fuck, just blowing us away. I was scared. I feared for my life. And these motherfuckers who we done paid to go and get trained to do it.
Right.
They been given jobs. They have pensions. They have benefits. They get paid per hour. And could we fuck it up any worse than them? So maybe it is time to think outside the box and say, hey, let's train more black people to police their own community. In a city like Milwaukee, where people hate the police, would that draw more black cadets to the police department? If
we all need to be cops, really low key. I mean,
I don't really want to be a cop, though. I don't
want to be a cop either. But shit, if we get to do what they do, yeah, let's all go get a little cop training.
Now that's the problem. You can't deputize everybody. See, that's what I'm saying. Being a law enforcement officer should be like something that you earn. Like you should have to go through rigorous training, because if you get an average motherfucker a gun and say you a cop, you finna fuck some shit up.
That's what they be doing, though. They be fucking shit up. That's exactly what they be doing. Not trained at all. So shit, we might as well.
Yeah, I guess it's time to rethink the way we approach it. Like I said, I wonder if there will be more black applicants if they said, no, we intentionally target black police officers to police their community. We want more black cops in the black community. I feel like they're scared to even say that or think of that and say, because that might offend some white people. Right, like so, but I feel like that's what needs to happen for you to tell people we want more black officers because we want y'all to be in y'all community more. Right now, what we'll figure out is if we get more black officers in the community and the murder stay the same, now we most definitely have an issue with the training. It's not even the individual. No, now we know it's the training because this dude from here and he just blew the old lady away. And he grew up right.
But we know it's the training. That's why I went dude that shot the Jay Anderson guy in the park. That was sleeping in his car. Like, you shot him for what? Like, and he was black, wasn't he?
And he was mental. He's African, which is a little bit different. I don't know.
It is a little bit different. It is indeed. It is.
Backlash for African, our relationship, for me talking about our relationship with Native African people too.
Right.
Get at me like, yeah, that'd be kind of low key racist when you be doing a little African accent. I'd be like, which one? The one? This one?
The one that lives up the street.
Oh my goodness! They just hit Kamal's truck. We must chase it.
You do not want to. Wait, can't stop. We gotta be serious.
I'm feeling that bullshit. Right before Juneteenth Day, you gonna do that shit too, Kev. For real, man. I'm gonna give myself one. Oh man, you was in my driveway. No, I'm just kidding. Y'all seen Dr. Fauci got COVID, right? Y'all seen this, right? Like, so,
no, but that's funny as fuck.
Right?
Is he fully vaccinated?
Well, they said he's experiencing mild symptoms. But
it still goes to show you shouldn't.
He should be vaccinated and boosted the fuck up.
Right, but that show you why force some shit on some people that don't prevent you from. Now, at first that was the thing. Get the shot, save a life. Because if you get the shot, you ain't gonna get it, which means you ain't gonna spread it. Then it just defaulted to get the shot and you might not die type shit. You might die with the shot and we gonna just blame it on some other shit. But get the shot. Like, so it's funny as fuck that he got I guess I ain't gonna say it's funny, but
you did say it though. You like it's funny.
Hey, but I mean had both shots and about 8 boosters by now.
But you see that little Justin Bieber.
He should be the healthiest motherfucker out here right now.
He got the motherfucker shot. That's why his face paralyzed like that.
His face paralyzed.
After you get about 6 booster shots, you really should be straight. Like,
he claimed he got some type of cold or something, but half his face paralyzed. He smiled, this side stayed, don't move.
You know what?
He had the COVID shot. That's the COVID vaccine.
You know what? Real shit. I had, like, they called it Bell palsy when I had it. Like, there was a time the left side of my face, like, I woke up one day, I couldn't blink, couldn't smile on that side, none of that shit. Went to the doctor, they was like, oh, a virus must have hit a nerve. But I remember around that time I had got a pneumonia shot because my doctor was like, get this shot to protect you from pneumonia during the wintertime. So it was around that time, and I never could pinpoint it like, damn, I'm trying to take precautions not to get sick. I wake up with like for 3 days, man, I couldn't blink. Like I had to have eye drops because I couldn't blink and shit. And if I smiled, I had half a smile like Two-Face from Batman and shit. But luckily it improved in like 2-3 days. So, wow. But yeah, man, they called it Bell palsy when I had it. They called it some other shit that he got.
Shout out to Crystal Ship. She said, you don't match energy, you rise above negative energy. If they don't care about stealing your stuff or hitting your car, you think they care about shooting you? That's what I'm saying.
That's right.
That. But one thing, this is another point. People who victimize are of the wrong mentality, because sometimes you run up on the wrong person to victimize. And see, the other night we talked about, when I said we'll teach them a lesson, Braille said, he made a good point. He said, well, what are you really teaching them? I said, well, sometimes it ain't about teaching a person whether or not they should steal. It's about teaching them who to steal from and who they should steal from, right? And so a lot of times we take this, we're going to take the high ground. We're going to take the high ground. We're going to take the high ground. And you steadily get victimized until sometimes somebody has to be made an example of. Like, man, dude tried to steal their car. They come out there and beat the shit out of them. So now cats might be a little bit more aware. Like, hey, we got to be a little bit more careful because people getting their shit kicked in. My chat room is popping. Man, shout out to Crystal Ship. Her Control C, Ticey Gotsy. Y'all always support Outlaw Radio. I appreciate y'all.
Man, shit. I done had the most trouble from black officers. Like I come up, the white ones, I just wanted to give you this warning, have a good day. Black one talk all crazy to me, and I'm like, damn, I said, is there, how can I be an assistance officer? Kept my shit on the still, the training that your parents put you through. Keep your hand on 10 and 2. If you reaching for your wallet, let them know you're reaching for it where it is. I'm reaching for my wallet right now, right pocket. Ain't shit over here but my wallet. I did all that shit, and I still was like, so my thing is, it don't matter the color. I've had bad experiences with white cops, Hispanic cops, black cops. I've had good experiences. Well, not good experience, but at least less fucked up experiences with white cops, Hispanic cops. I don't know if I ever had a less fucked up experience with a black cop.
It's a behavior that they teach. It's a certain behavior that they teach, right? Like how we was talking about the audacity. You know what I mean? It's a behavior that they teach. But see, I got a homie who years ago, when we got out of high school, he became a police officer. He was a police officer for about 3 years. Okay. And he quit because they was trying to make him be an asshole. They was trying to tell him, no, you got to handle people rough. You know what I mean? You catching people up and talking to them and letting them go, and you know what I mean? But not letting them go for like some heinous shit. But you know what I'm saying? That's right. Traffic stops and shit like that where you really ain't got to be sweating them motherfuckers. But yeah, they wanted them to be an asshole. They wanted them to rough motherfuckers up and shit. And
I believe it.
Quit.
We got a caller. Uh-oh, he hung up. I was just about to bring him in. Hit us back, Ace. Because he had commented there's been a lot of black officers that get brainwashed by white folks, and I just keep seeing Bernie Mac in "Don't Be a Menace" when he said, "I hate Forrest Whitaker's neck." Because I've had
black police showing out for the white.
Right. I've had some negative,
and that's what they be doing. Kamar showing out.
You said it years ago.
I've had those same experiences. I never really had no issue with no Hispanic cop where it's like, get your ass down. I just wanted to do like a Hispanic accent.
Damn.
Hey, most of them is in their community. Dig that. Hey, but dig that. Most of them is in their community.
You got the right to remain silent.
Over on Caesar Child Bed.
You got the right to remain silent, ho. Don't you move. You stay right there. Don't you? Hey. Don't you move on. Stay still. Put your hands on the steering wheel.
It's Courtney that time.
It's contagious.
What's going on?
Hey, Go over on Cesar Chavez and watch the nationality of the police you see in their community.
Hold on, Kamar, we got a caller. Go ahead, Ace.
Hey, what up, man? The problem really, like I said, man, it's the culture. It ain't really no one specific person. It's the political culture. You got to remember, we in the republic. This ain't no damn democracy. The problem is with people. You got the wrong people with too much power over somebody's life. They don't know how to deal with it. They want to be God. And I mean, at the same time, you got to be established. They gotta know when to have some compassion. The problem is they feel like they can move without any repercussion. That's where I think we done messed up, because, as I always say, some people call me a radical, because if it happens to one of us, we should all have an issue, but we back off like ain't our problem, because we paying each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right, no doubt.
And at the end of the day, we constantly we get to the courthouse. And we have things like, what's the African dude that been shooting people down? What's his name?
Mensa.
We get stuff like that, and so now we sometimes keeping it 100. We got to take it out of their hands, because we have to create a consequence. Does that make sense? And that being said, one person can't do it, but if they see 10, 12.
You're right. I think it has to be, but it has to be done the correct way, right? Like, because obviously you can't put a gun in the hand of every individual, right? Like, you can't. I don't support no group of vigilantes walking around, but I think there needs to be some investment in getting police officers to be able to police their own community. I do believe in that. Crystal Ship said, shout out to Ace. His call dropped, so I'm sure he'll call back if he wants to add to it.
But the Black Panthers are kind of like vigilantes a little bit,
You said who?
The Black Panthers.
The Black Panthers?
Yeah.
Now you talking about I'm talking about
the originals, the first one.
Right, the Huey P. Yeah, and they were, in a sense, because some of their largest battles were fought with like drug dealers and pimps in the community, because they wanted to rid the community of that element. I don't know if they were vigilantes per se, because I don't know how many of them they killed. I know they got into shootouts and fights and all this kind of stuff. So you're right, Courtney. Crystal Ship said being a victim is a mentality. Change that mindset. When truly you could have easily retaliated or hurt them, but you use strength and discipline to not do it. That's power for real. I don't debate the fact that restraint, they always say cooler heads prevail. But what I'm saying is sometimes it's a little bit too many cool heads that end up being victimized cool heads. Sometimes the galaxy indicates or dictates that it's time for this individual to get what they wanted, is to get what they paid for.
You know what that means?
To say this, hold on, come on, I'm gonna let you. I got you. Growing up, one thing I absolutely hated was a bully, right? And I would sit around and I would watch bullies fuck with people all the time, and I would say it ain't my business. I ain't gonna get in it until one day he so happened to fuck with me. And then I gave him what the good Lord wanted him to understand. and some of them, I'm not gonna lie, it changed their life. Their whole perspective was different after that. Like, I can't just be doing this shit to anybody. So sometimes retribution and redemption is all in the same ass whooping. And so we need to hand those out sometimes to habitual line steppers and be prepared. So if the law, and we all agreed on this, the law kind of cripples you in what you can actually do to defend yourself.
Exactly.
Well, let's make some more concessions within the law to say, I didn't kill him, Your Honor. I kicked him in his face a couple times because I caught him in my yard, and they said, okay, Mr. Barnes, we understand. You shouldn't have been trying to steal a box.
Bullshit. No time in history has the judge ever told a black man it's okay.
I said it should. I didn't say it does, Kamar. I didn't say it does right now. I said it should. I said concession should be made to the law so that it can happen. I know it ain't happening now. Shit.
No time in history.
Chantel Gwen said we hung out.
Hey, but you know when she said cooler heads prevail, right? Right. That's what I was saying earlier. By me making the decision that I made, you know what I mean? The cooler head prevailed. Like in my world, you know what I mean? In the life that I have to deal with, like in theirs, it ain't my business if they learn the lesson or not. You know what I mean? But in my world, me keeping a cooler head, okay, well, I didn't get up on that van and they got the ups on me and aired me out, or I didn't tear their ass off. You dig what I'm saying? And I wind up in prison. One of the two could have happened. You know what I mean? So if I hadn't got a cool head somewhere in there, the cooler head wouldn't have prevailed, man. I'd have been hot. I'd have been pissed. And I'd have took off on that emotion.
Got a 50-50 chance, right? You don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. So it's better to stay ready. I believe in that. It's better to stay ready than have to get ready, right?
You know what I'm saying? That's right.
I think Scarface had that classic. Shout out to Scarface, man. Remember Scarface had that classic lyric back in the day when he said, I ain't running to get my shit like these other busters. When you see me around this bitch, I got that motherfucker. I love Scarface.
You take a journey into outer space.
I mean, that's a very true statement. I definitely got it all the time.
Because I shouldn't be endorsing violence, but I do. I know it's
you
bad.
got to keep it on you. Well, no, we not the way the world is. Well, yeah, you do. I mean, I keep mine.
Some bullshit sometimes. The good thing about me though is I admit when I'm on bullshit. I ain't like most people who be acting like I'm so self-righteous. I be having time for the foolishness sometimes. So Chantel Gwen said we hung out, but we didn't tear up our neighborhood. My grandmother had us picking up trash. This summer the kids don't have nothing positive to do. They are killing each other. We fought and got over that crap. I'm tired of all these kids passing away daily. Yeah, we just talked about the 100th homicide being a 14-year-old sister. It's ridiculous. Ace Cooley said we too submissive. Crystal Ship said this generation don't know how to fight. Chantel Gwen agreed with her. And then I don't know what that emoji means. I'm not up on my emojiism. Ace said, Kev, there's nothing wrong with the Constitution. Nothing in the Constitution that states we have to give our lives away. Even in the event that we are guilty, we are supposed to get our day in court. Yeah, we covered this the other night, Ace, because Kamar and myself went back and forth, and then I threw in the cliche every nigga gonna say is you better be judged by 12 and cared about 6. And so that was kind of like my final argument. I don't know how much value it had, but I shot that shit out there. But it
well, yeah, you know what I mean. But you know the thing is, that's true. I believe that too. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, at the same time, you know, if it come down to where my life is in danger and I gotta kill this motherfucker to stay alive, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do it, whether or not I'm gonna have to get caught or not. But like I say, my life got to be in danger.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying?
You know what?
I just ain't willing to go to prison to teach somebody else a lesson.
I ain't gonna go on purpose. If I go, it's gonna be an accident. I'm literally, it's gonna be a situation where I didn't know. It was like shit. I just reacted and I'm being honest about that. Like I'm not walking around like I'm fucking 46 years old, right? Like I got more time behind me than I do in the front. So I ain't really want to give up the next 20 or 30 years. But what I'm saying is, don't come through here fucking with me either, because it can be what it is. Like you don't know. My destiny might be to do the Lord's work. So if it just so comes down to it, a motherfucker just got to deal with it. Like shit, man, I never planned for this. Like, you know, zooms and whams, right? 3 highs in the cot. I don't know. I did my best to avoid that situation, and it's worked out for me pretty well up to this point. The main thing that I try to do is police my environment and who I'm around, right? Like I'm very, very selective about the individuals that I kick it with and the places that I be, because I don't react well to somebody trying to fuck with me. Right, I just don't I don't deal with it well. It's one of my triggers. It's one of my issues. When I see somebody trying to stand on me, I got to say, "Hold on, motherfucker. No, you better go get the next one." It's something that I've been working on my whole life, right? Like so, but I'm honest about it. I'm not gonna sit around and say, "Well, because I ain't all about peace." I'm just gonna be 100 with you. I ain't all about peace. I feel like if a motherfucker bring it, then you should give when they bring it, you should give it back to them. That's why I tell people, "Oh man, dude don't like you." I don't like him more. Like you can't tell me you hate me. I hate you more, and I'm gonna make sure you know I hate you more. Than you hate me. I'm petty like that. I be on some bullshit. Do not be like me. Be like Kamar. Like follow his example. Don't follow mine, because I be on that bullshit. I'm trying to tell you, I do, man. Because I hear something at night outside my house. I'm like. Now, am I intending on shooting somebody when I get up? Nope. But guess what? It could happen. Wrong situation. It could happen. I just be that motherfucker on the news like, man, I ain't mean to, but shit. Who gives a fuck after it's done? I'm going where I'm going. I'm going to be up there, like I said, in the yard telling my story. But, man, you know, I used to play football and shit. That'd be my nickname. Big football, right? Like, nobody care about that shit. Let me see. Ace Cooley, he said, at the end of the day, we are not allowed to use the badge of a state, county, or federal badge to terrorize the American people. In the event that a cop crosses the line from public servant to domestic terrorist, they are automatically considered an enemy of the state. That may be true, but we have a little issue in our legal system with black people and their representation sometimes. So, like a white boy like Kyle Rittenhouse gets off with that, but brothers don't. Right? Like Zimmerman gets away with that. Brothers in jail doing years right now for getting caught with a couple pounds of weed. Do that shit make sense? It don't even make sense, right? Like so, and I get what Kamar's saying. You don't want to be going up in them courts gambling with your freedom, because you're not gonna win most of the time. But I also believe that we gotta stop being so fucking scared. Because the point all this time I would, but I don't want to get in no trouble. I don't want to go to jail. Man, sometimes you got to be like, fuck that shit. It is what it is. I'm about to whoop this motherfucker's ass. Like, I mean, somebody gonna learn today. It's gonna either be me or him or both of us. Either way it goes, it's gonna be lessons taught, right? So I just feel like you can't always be, I'm scared. I'm gonna take the high road. Sometimes you gotta be like, nah.
Because you take the high road don't mean scared.
Well, that's true too.
You just know what where the low road gonna take you.
Most people though who taking that high road are scared though. You might not be one that's scared. You might be doing it because of your awareness. But a lot of motherfuckers gonna say that's why I believe in peace because they scared. They couldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight.
Because see, really, you know what I mean. Like in different situations, you got to use logic, man. You know what I mean. You got to understand what can you do in certain situations.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And this is why I was so upset with myself with me taking off in that van and getting upset or in that truck. You know what I mean? Because, see, I'm supposed to be ready for that already. Like, because, see, I chased the motherfucker down and stopped. And, I could have just stayed at home. You dig what I'm saying?
I wish I could have had a camera.
You know what I mean? And then it's that factor. So it's like, really, man, like, if I'd have just kept my cool and chilled the fuck out, like, ain't nothing I could do about it. I ain't finna call the police. I ain't finna, you know what I mean? I know that ain't gonna do shit.
Right. I wish I could have got that video. I wish I could have just seen you flying down the street like these motherfuckers did not shit. I would have just loved to see that. I would like to see.
Look, man, I took off so fast, man. My girl took off after me and lost me. Like when she came back home, man, like shaking and shit. How you know what I mean? Or how she saw me take off after.
Right. Seen that old Kamar come out. She seen that bull come out.
You know, like I said, you know what I mean? Like again, there's levels to this shit, man. You know what I mean? And you better understand that about yourself.
A said people always react to fear in a submissive way. A scary motherfucker can be very dangerous. They absolutely can. That's the most dangerous motherfucker. A scary motherfucker. Cool, calm, and collected motherfucker usually gonna go by the rules. He go by the procedure. That motherfucker who's shaking like a leaf on a tree liable to do any goddamn thing. As a matter of fact, that's the misconception about prison. Because most people think if you in prison, you hard. Most people think if you in prison for murder, you a killer. It's a lot of motherfuckers that was scary as shit. That's how they end up.
It's a lot of scary niggas that was made to be killers because they had to be.
Exactly. That's So yeah, that's absolutely true. Now did y'all see this? This is just something else because it's finna be Juneteenth Day. And I didn't get to do the Big Black Sports Show last night. Shout out to Tank. He had a prior arrangement. So we didn't do it. But Jack Del Rio, who is the defensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders, which we used to call the Redskins, right? Like, so they
the Commanders.
Yeah, they're the Commanders now, right? Like, so no more.
You know, the Indians stood up, or the Native Americans stood up,
right.
They didn't like Washington calling their team the Redskins.
So he's the defensive coordinator, and I guess he's like one of these conservative type of individuals. And he was on his Twitter. See, Twitter be getting motherfuckers fucked up. He jumped on his Twitter and he was saying that he didn't understand why, because all of the trials and the hearings on the insurrection at the Capitol are going down. So he was saying that he didn't understand why a little dust up at the Capitol was a big deal, but thousands of dollars in property damage and people losing their businesses because of one individual getting killed by a law enforcement officer is not talked about. It's not discussed, but we get upset because of a little dust up at the Capitol. First of all, it was far from a little dust up, okay? Motherfuckers who lost their lives during this shit, right? Like, secondly, This was an attempted takeover of the United States.
Man, this shit is amazing. This is amazing how they justify their shit.
By some pissed off white people. Okay, let's be honest about who this was at the Capitol, right? Because it's about seven white boys from Wisconsin right now that's charged with this shit, right? You got Phil and Tim and Bob who work with you. You don't work with him 20 years. You know this motherfucker was that. And what the fuck is that? Bob climbing up the wall? Bob white ass was pissed off, right? And so he comes out. Now keep in mind, you work in a league that employs probably 80% of the players that are black. A league that already has problems with lack of minority owners, lack of minority executives. So some people were saying he should be removed. The president of the NAACP said he wanted his immediate termination because this was insensitive to the victims of police brutality and all these people who have been murdered and that caused all the protesting. The need for social justice is greater than the need for me to just get mad because Trump didn't win an election or Trump said, "Oh, man, it's some bullshit. Go get him." So they fined $100,000. Now, here's where I jump off the wagon at, because I did say this, and I have said this many times. I don't think he should have lost his job, right? I don't think he should have lost his job because of that. I think he should ultimately lose his job because black players will refuse to play for him. I think it has, once again, we talk about us, right? So we talk about us as a team, us as a defense to say, man, this motherfucker was out of pocket. I'm not doing shit. We ain't playing for dude. We gonna pop some leaks and get some shit up, man. And you know, it's gonna take the brothers who really they said, well, we gonna give you $70 million. We know you were all pro. And when he messed up, he said, well, I don't know. I didn't get that call. And directly blame it on this dude. And that way he will get fired. So indirectly, he loses his job. I don't think you should lose your job because you say something most people don't agree with. If that's the way he felt, that's the way he felt. But once again, you understand that who he coaches, right? He has to understand the people that are a central part of his employment. So I think people said that $100,000 wasn't enough. I think that's a good fine for saying some shit you ain't supposed to say. Give me 100 stacks, right? And this key, and now you got to deal with the motherfuckers that you work with. And so everybody's denouncing what he said. But people just said it should have been heavier, it should have been more. But once again, are we ever surprised when a white person says something racist? In 2022, if you still surprised when a white person says something racist, I got to give you this. I don't know where the hell you been. You must be 2 years old. Because you must only, and even if you 2, you be like, I remember that shit 2 years ago. It's always been some bullshit. So what do y'all think about this Ron Rivera situation?
I agree with you. You know what I mean? Like, okay, he got his views on whatever. You know what I mean? That's fine. You can have your views. But you know what I mean? When you start talking about how you feel about certain people or certain things, you got to understand that there's going to be some kind of repercussion behind that, especially today. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, he shouldn't get fired, but he should get fired eventually when he find out that the drop-off, when the team drops off. Now you get fired for that.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can feel how you want to feel. Like I said, I say this all the time. It ain't none of my business what you think about me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't none of my business. That don't matter about nothing. Just do your fucking job.
Now apparently he has a history too of kind of making these kind of asinine, you know how old conservative white dudes are. They gonna say some bullshit from time to time. Or people died for that flag. We'll call him Kaepernick. Because Neil, like, shut your ass up. What the fuck is you talking about? Get your ass out of here. We know that they'll do that, right? Like, so, but it's just like, once again, I say shit all the time that might offend people. Should I lose my job? Should I lose everything that no, fuck them. I shouldn't lose my job. I should have the right to tell somebody. I mean, I think it's my American right to tell somebody I don't agree with that. That's bullshit. To me, that's bullshit. Yeah. I shouldn't lose my job, right? But like Kamar said, if I do that out front and I do it out loud, and there's a group of people who are offended, but I got to be willing to deal with that too. I can't be like, what the fuck? Because of what you said, motherfucker, what you think? So, what y'all think? Real, you think he should have been fired? Courtney, you think he should have been fired?
Man, I think people give words too much power.
Okay.
I think people get too, like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's you have to take offense because you have to choose what you about to let fuck up your state of peace. So, like, I believe in freedom of speech. I mean, Just that's his view. I mean, if we don't agree with his view, like whenever you don't agree with something somebody say, just take away the only power they have over you, which is your attention. So if we don't like the shit, look somewhere else. But when we be like, oh, they shouldn't have said that. Like, my thing is, it's a sticky wicket when you try to police what the next motherfucker say because you don't like it. We can't get mad when somebody try to police what we say because they don't like it, or just like I always think about shit like that with that tit for tat. Like, right. I mean, just like, I mean, a lot of people was mad at the Confederate flag, and I understand why. But my thing is, if we saying take down the Confederate flag, we can't be mad if motherfuckers be like, well, RBG flags. I like. I used to be a Pan-Africanist, so I had the red, black, and green flag. So I just be like, we have to be careful when we try to. First off, we got to stop being ass hurt about everything. Get some fucking emotional intelligence. If you don't like what somebody say, cut them off. Stop looking at them. Stop. Like all the women who used to be mad at Kevin Samuels, like it's still women still ass hurt about Kevin Samuels, and he's dead for like a month or two now. So we got to stop giving so much of our peace of mind power to the next motherfucker. Otherwise, we're going to always be stressed, depressed, and in our chest type shit.
What you think, Courtney?
I'm trying to get my...
I mean, should he be fired? Because he said, basically brushed off and said that wasn't shit at the Capitol. Shit, we should be concerned about how these niggas burn shit. I'm paraphrasing again. I be putting words in people's mouth. I told y'all to be on some bullshit. He said, that wasn't shit at the Capitol. Well, we should be mad at these niggas who burnt all this shit down because they killed a pill popper in Minneapolis.
That's what
I paraphrased the shit out of that.
Yeah, you did. It's one of the things. Motherfuckers can be fired for all types of shit, but at the same time, it's like we're supposed to be able to have this freedom of speech to say what the fuck we want. And with his type of job, is it something in his contract where he can't say what the fuck he want?
Nope. Well, no, there's a code of conduct, and you can't. They let you know that whatever you do represents their league. And so if you if you go out and do certain shit, you understand that you're gonna get fired because you compromised the image of the league. But there's no real stipulation that says, like even with Gruden, where they went into his emails and all of this kind of stuff, right? And Gruden had said fag, I guess, and maybe he dropped it here and there or whatever. I didn't think Gruden should have been fired, number one, because it was his private email, right? Like if somebody,
very true.
There's a situation where they was talking about somebody recording something while they eating dinner. Like I shouldn't get fired because I said, fuck them crackers at my table while I was eating dinner and I was watching the news. I'm gonna go work the next day. Kevin, you got to go to HR. What's wrong?
Right.
I thought you called us crackers last night. Well, and y'all fired me? Yeah. Well, fuck all you crackers then. I was fucking justified.
And I feel like sometimes they probably be having these conversations amongst each other. So motherfucker might be slow enough just to say the shit out loud because they feel like shit, we all said this together. And then next thing you know, you're in trouble. You're like, damn, but we all was just...
Listen.
I thought we all agreed and said the same shit. Y'all said the same shit I said.
Y'all said y'all felt
the same goddamn way. So now I'm in trouble.
I'm going to go jump out the window. I'm going to be honest with you. It's some shit I done seen on Facebook, on social media, on the news, and I done said sitting there watching it. Look at them niggas. I done said the shit before.
When that was oh my man.
But at the same time, I done seen white people do some shit while I'm watching. Look at them crazy ass white people. Them white boys, them Peckerwoods crazy. So
yeah,
I can understand how white people would sometimes see some of the shit on the news and say, boy, those niggers are crazy. I mean, why wouldn't I expect a white man in his own home to be watching some crazy shit and say niggers are out of their minds? Like I would be surprised if he didn't say that.
Because I say that shit all the time. I say it all day. These niggas, boy, and then niggas all day. So
that's a general like when I'm talking about a group of people, and that's why I'm glad people don't record me because when I generalize, it might be niggas and bitches, niggas crazy, bitches crazy. Like and be like, oh my God, he said bitch. Like, you would allow a white motherfucker to call you. Actually, fam, I'm glad you said that shit. Oh, well, he didn't even say it.
Yeah, he said it. I didn't paraphrase that one, Braille. I didn't paraphrase that one, right?
First off, G, I understand the origin of the word nigga. It comes from negus, which is an African word that means king. So when you say negusi, it means king of kings type shit. So because a white motherfucker bastardized a word we used to use to refer to each other, first of all, I don't get ass hurt about words. So all you nigga, oh okay, bro, just don't walk up. I don't give a fuck what the next person. They can call me a bitch ass nigga, hoe.
Hold on, be careful. Slow down though.
You know, I mean, my thing is
nigga shit. Like,
it ain't for me. That don't move me because it ain't what you called, it's what you answer to.
That's true.
As long as you ain't fucking look, the only way to get me mad is fuck with my food, my finances, or my ability to take care of my family. Them the only three things that's gonna piss me off. Otherwise, nigga, there's a look him up, Dr. Kaba Kamene, Kaba space Kamene, and he breaks down the origin of the word nigga. My name Darrell. I've been called Daryl all my life. That's why I short the shit down to Rail. So if I get ass hurt about words and shit, nigga, my name ain't Daryl, it's Darrell. You know, nah, fuck all that. That's just a retarded motherfucker mispronouncing my name. Well, can I say retarded? Well, shit. So when I hear a white person say nigger, oh, there go a retarded motherfucker trying to call me king. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think it'll behoove a lot of more black people to learn the origin. Like I love etymology. I love finding the origin of words and shit like that because we gotta stop allowing words to move us to action. You have to stop reacting and stop feeling and reacting and think and respond. I'm gonna make sure that first off, this motherfucker can't do nothing to me physically that I gotta address. If I ain't gotta address that shit, fuck dude. You know what I'm saying? He probably old and wrinkled and dick don't get hard for his bitch anyway. You know, his bitch probably looking at me. So that maybe that's why he called me a nigga. Like, I don't think about that. That shit don't move me. Don't fuck with my kids, don't fuck with my family, and don't touch my food, and we all good.
I agree with you, but I still say be easy with that bitch ass nigga shit. All that shit.
I mean, and I understand a lot of people feel like that's one of the fighting words and shit. Them fighting word. Like, but that's fighting words.
That's what he was taught was fighting.
Right. That's
you know what I mean? Like, hey, that's another thing. Like I say, it's a lot of motherfuckers.
Fighting word. It was a lot of
say bitch ass nigga. Oh, now it's time to fight.
Now I gotta kill him.
Everybody gonna look at me funny. Right. Everybody gonna try me. Everybody finna start calling me bitch ass nigga. So I better do something.
Don't get me wrong. Depending on where you live, in some neighborhoods, letting that shit slide might be playing with your own safety. So I acknowledge that shit.
But it ain't like that now.
But it ain't like that everywhere.
Old, you know what I mean? It really ain't.
Right. I'm 39.
You know these guys call each other bitches nadays. You know, we in a whole different era.
Whoa. And see, once again, I hear what everybody's saying, but I'm still a man, right? I'm still an old man. And there's a line you can cross. Now, when it comes to the N-word, I realize that for them it's strategic. I realize for them, they realize that this can be a trigger for us, some of us. And if they really want us to do harm to, like if you at work or in certain situations, they can set you off with that word and you could really cost yourself, right? But I think there's a time and place where there's room for a white man who says nigger to get dealt with too. Like if I can catch you in a certain scenario and you say that, fuck, I'm at you real quick up out of there, right? Like so.
And I ain't telling everybody to walk away from that word. It's just as for
you know
me,
what I mean? You could give it to them.
Exactly. And no, I ain't telling everybody else to respond how I respond. But for me, words don't make me less of a man. What would make me less of a man is allowing somebody else's words to make me put myself in a situation that potentially stops me from providing and raising my children.
Totally understand. But you just said you love entomology, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, let me tell you something. It's funny that people don't really think about this. Words mean something.
Yeah, they do.
I don't know if anybody's noticed right now, but the most dangerous weapon in this world is words. Because it only take the right person to say the wrong thing about somebody, and it can just be that person's narrative for the rest of their life. Case in point, when we gave your ass a nickname when you was little, it stuck with you until you was grown. Why y'all call him Booger? Because one time when he was born, we saw him eating a booger. Motherfucker ain't ate a booger since. So he's still Booger. Now, as far as the bitch ass nigga thing goes, is the one thing that I learned about survival is sometimes what a person says or how they address you indicates how they're going to treat you. Right? So as a man, if another man look at me and say, yeah, that's a bitch ass nigga right there, that means sooner or later he or she is going to take his or her shot. Right? Not saying that that's 100% true, but I'm saying when you say that, it's an indicator to me that I need to be aware of what's going on.
At that point is when you give it to them.
So no, I'm saying
the first one was a warning. The first one was my peaceful warning, nigga.
Right. Like, hold on with that shit.
Now,
like,
you know what I mean? So it's like I say, it's levels, it's different. You know what I mean? See, now it's like I'm defending myself. You know what I'm saying? Because he took it farther, and nigga, I tried to warn you the first time.
And I know even in most of our, and especially in my neighborhood, we didn't play with the bitch thing. I heard what Courtney said. You didn't like, you could be playing around with one of my homeboys and you say, oh, you old bitch ass. He said, hold on, cuz. Time out, man. Now we don't get at each other like that, man. We don't do that, man. You know, it's like my dad, as old as he was, and he was a preacher. But if you ever called my father a cocksucker, you had a problem. all the preacher, all the Reverend Barnes would just leave his body, and he would get dead ass and say, "Look, motherfucker, don't you never call me no cocksucker. You see me sucking on a cock?" And the people were like, "Whoa, shit! Like, what happened, Reb?" Hey, man, we don't fuck around like that. Say don't shit like that. And even my mom's knew, and my mama would call anybody anything whenever she wanted to. But she knew not to even say that to Pops. Like, don't say that shit to that motherfucker. That motherfucker get ready to go. He put that Bible down and pick up that gun. Like, I'm like, damn, Pops. So words mean something. Now, we cannot let them mean more than they should. Okay, so I hear you on. I can't jeopardize my whole life because somebody said, "Well, you bitch ass nigga." But like Kamar said, I feel like that is an indicator. That's
just like you said though.
It is an indicator
for somebody to call you that.
Antennas up.
Right, but you said for somebody to call you that means eventually they might try you. So there's different scenarios. I mean, if it's somebody in the circle, if it's somebody on my block or somebody I gotta see daily, it's different because, like you said, no, motherfucker, that's step one. And if I don't stop you at step one, you're gonna become a habitual line stepper, like you say.
There you go.
If it's somebody in traffic or some shit, watch the road, bitch ass nigga. Am I about to chase him down? No. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Now you talking about somebody in your face calling you a bitch. Yeah, now you gotta address that shit because bitch ass niggas usually step one before they're moved to actions.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be something. I mean words in passing. I mean words is one of y'all walking away or going the other way. I mean, if they coming towards you with an energy, whether it's words or not, you have the right to set your boundary and defend yourself when it's something like that. So yeah, no, there's different scenarios and
shit. To Ace's question, and I just want to, because we are like, we make these kind of we talk about these scenarios and these situations. And a white boy saying to me, "Hey, you nigger," or whatever, nigger, or drive nigger, or whatever, like that's different from I see a bunch of skinheads, or I see some dudes with some Confederate belt buckles, or I see and when I walk in, they say, "Yeah, we don't have no niggers around here. You don't belong in here, boy." Now I'm like, motherfucker, what you just say to me? Now I'm like Kamar said, my antennas go up. I got the grip up. I got the grip up. I got to go in the car, and I got to go get, my outlaw.
That don't mean it's time to take off. Because a lot of the time, if you just take off in that situation because they called your name, when it's time to go to court, you going to jail.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean? So it's like rules of engagement.
Exactly.
Or I could still rednecks with some cowboy boots on. Once again, I'd rather be proactive in being ready. I'm not gonna wait for it to turn into where I go ahead and sit down and he had to come to me a second time and say, "Nigga, I thought I told you to leave." And I'm like, "Listen, I have constitutional rights. I can eat here." And before I know it, I'm getting dragged behind a pickup truck. I'd rather from the first indicator to say, "Hold on, I'll be right back." And I ain't gonna come back in like, "Yeah, now what?" But I'm gonna come in then and be real cool, calm, and collective. So When that shit get over the top, I can say, hey man, you know, I do have a second right amendment, and that's why I'm holding this in my hand, and I just want to get up out of here.
Right.
And if you don't fuck up, you won't eat this. But if you fuck up, I'm gonna show you what a nigger is, and it's gonna come out the end of this. You see that motherfucker coming, that's the fastest nigger you've ever seen in your life. So it's just about the situation, and once again about policing my environment. Because if I'm ever anywhere and I run into that, it's because I'm usually in a place where I had some concerns about being there in the first place. So if I'm way up north, for example, and this happens, I'm like, well, I know where I'm at. I'm up north. So let me just leave. I ain't even going back in there because I might have to shoot a motherfucker because of where I'm at.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. You know, you got to use your intelligence. Look at the situation now. There's rules of engagement. Okay, in this situation, it's best for me to just leave.
Right.
Yeah, but y'all better not come behind me. Or I'm gonna get real motherfucking ignorant.
I mean, and then people do. I mean, and like I said, I ain't telling everybody to react like or do it like I do it because I mean, there's levels to the shit. Like the dude, what was that at the brewery place? That like he went in there and went off, and then you find out that they was fucking with him for all that time. He went to HR. He tried to take the proper steps. Then he was like, "Fuck this shit." They picked the right one today. You know, so every scenario is different. And I will tell everybody to use their best intelligence on, hey, is this some shit that's putting my life in direct danger, or is this just a word of motherfucker?
You just proved my point.
What's happening, fam?
Here's Bob and here's Bill who joking around, fucking with this brother every day.
Oh, the brewery cat? Yeah.
His locker, fucking with him, not knowing that this motherfucker builds his own guns. He orders.
They learned that shit that night.
Long day.
You're gonna learn today.
Right.
And you know what? I'm sure that whole scenario because it might have been some residual white folks just kind of hanging around who kind of was laughing at the shit like, they be fucking with Leroy when he
they ain't stopping. I bet you
they ain't like that now. I bet you they advise they friends now. Look, fucking leave Lathan alone, okay? Fucking leave him alone.
Right.
He has a curl, goddammit. Leave him alone. Like, fuck, I'm not gonna be in here with this shit.
He has a shag in the back. He don't give a fuck. He still got that braid in the back of his head. He'll fuck everybody up in this shit.
Dude, my brother had that shit for the longest. Hell yeah, them niggas crazy. Still got that goddamn tail. Niggas from the 90s.
Lathan with the rat tail and shit.
Turbo from breaking and shit.
Right. You gotta watch them niggas, man.
Oh shit.
And we as black people know the signs. We know the scenario. Because we see this motherfucker say, oh my mama, say, oh shit, let's go.
Right.
Shit on his mama. White people like, what does his mom have to do with it?
They be out and all shit.
Right, that was perfect example. The white people talking about, what does his mom have to do with it? I don't understand what you say here. Wrong day, man. This is why people need to know. You can't go around fucking with people all the time.
Right.
Milwaukee is a city, and I've said this to many people. Milwaukee is a city that there has never been a long-term bully here. I've been here long enough to remember some cats come here and had the streets on fire. You don't fuck with him. You don't fuck with them. Them niggas will fuck you up. Dude will kill your ass. Dude the shooter. He don't play. That motherfucker always get got eventually. He always gets got. You look on and oh shit, they done killed Big Lex.
As he should. That's how I felt watching what was this shit, BMF, when that dark skinned nigga got out and everybody was so scared of the nigga. I'm like, no, why don't they just kill the nigga?
I've never seen it. I've never watched BMF. I don't know.
You need to watch you some BMF then. Get you some of that in.
I ain't never seen P Valley. Some of this shit I'm glad I
ain't seen that. I don't know about that. That's too much for me.
Goddamn P Valley. You be watching some shit and all of a sudden two dudes is kissing. I be having to turn it. Damn, man, again.
Don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, man, you got to be careful, man. Because
but you would expect that on a show like that. It's a whole man with a beard that's dressed like a woman, and so.
And this is BMF.
No, that was P Valley.
Oh, okay. So I never.
Yeah, I don't watch it, but I know whenever I see the little commercials, that's what I see. So I would expect some gay shit to be going on. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I never seen BMF. I didn't watch Power. Like I missed that whole movement. Like,
I ain't watched Power either.
Yeah,
I ain't watched that either.
Yeah, I didn't see none of that. But people talk about BMF.
I don't even know what made me watch it, but that was actually pretty good. It was a thing.
I'm gonna check it out, man. Now is this what the girls calling this? The fuck nigga free summer?
Oh, man, I ain't know what that song was. And then I listened to it. I seen all the reels and the little TikToks, but then I listened to it. It was.
Is that one of your jams?
Free in SINGLE. Okay. Yeah, I like that. That was good.
And like, how many women out here dealing with fuck niggas?
We don't even be dealing with fuck niggas. I don't think I'm not.
To make a song about being fuck nigga free, it's like, don't you gotta evaluate yourself?
You got to be dealing with fuck niggas.
What is it about your pussy that attract fuck niggas? Do you got some fuck nigga pussy?
It don't mean like you fuck with a fuck nigga though, because I'm fuck nigga free, so I'm happy. You know, I ain't got no
what is this?
Around.
What is this?
Free life is
so that mean you used to fuck with fuck niggas.
I didn't know. Right. I'm just saying I'm fuck nigga
that's
free.
That's what I got from the song. If you fuck nigga free at one time, fuck niggas had you bound type shit.
I'm it's because it's some out here, so you know you got.
What's a fuck?
We ain't talking about you, Courtney. We talking about for a motherfucker to make that song.
Well, you don't be knowing they fuck niggas, man. Just like
because you gotta be passionate. You gotta be passionate in something to write a whole song about.
Like people gotta start taking accountability.
I want her to tell me.
You don't be knowing.
Tell me what I want Courtney to tell me. What in the views of a sister, what constitutes you being a fuck nigga? What
I don't know. I've never known. I've had friends always call people fuck boys, homeboys call niggas fuck boys. I've never actually used that language and call someone a fuck nigga or a fuck boy. I've never. That's something I have to go look on the Urban Dictionary. Let me look it up. You know I'm gonna look it up. Let me.
Well, see now I know what brothers mean when they say fuck boy. If we say
maybe it mean he a sucker. I'm
assuming
he's some type of sucker that be doing suck ass shit.
Okay.
Unfortunately, nowadays though, I mean, shit, niggas.
Niggas are suckers.
I mean, like niggas taking pride in being slime, being shiesty, being like that was a word that probably would have got me to fighting back in the day, calling me shiesty. Because to me, like the way we grew up, a shiesty nigga would rob his mama. You know, like you didn't want any dealings with anybody that was shiesty. Right. So
niggas who we consider shiesty, we ain't want them around.
Right. So now for people to take pride in being a savage, being shiesty, being slime, being like, how the fuck can you value yourself when you take pride in these derogatory ass titles? So again, when we talk about the violence, that's why I never have an answer for it, because to me, it ain't gun control. To me, it ain't more cops. It's this shit got to take place on the inside of people, because you could do a stop the violence for a weekend, but then all the rest of the day, there's still niggas dealing with poverty. They still listening to music that tells them to catch a body. They still dealing with music that tells them to fuck a ops bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so 1 hour of positivity can never neutralize a whole day of hustling. Like some of these people out here getting killed, and I heard what you said earlier, and for sure, you don't want to see nobody die. But when you dissect some of these murders, it's like, oh, okay, they set that person up. Oh, they robbed that person. Oh, they finessed that person. Oh, I mean, there's a lot of innocent bystanders, but as long as motherfuckers are still shiesty, there's gonna be motherfuckers that still getting killed because they did some shit that was kill worthy.
Yes. Okay. So a fuck nigga and a fuck bitch is a person who has nothing to offer, constantly lying, fronting, never follows through on anything said, excuses, always broke, and often needs a sponsor to make things happen, help to get their money right, can never count on them in times of need, only stays in contact or comes around when it suits the need, lives lives with family or friends, or rents a room, or it has to censor guests.
So a bum.
Yeah, you know, people hate getting called bums in Milwaukee. Ooh, that's fighting words in Milwaukee. Bum ass nigga.
Right, man. Like,
Milwaukee shit.
We spoken.
And you got to hear my son say it though. My son do this whole different kind of dialect with Milwaukee's, like and you know, I grew up in, so I'm thinking my slang was just
nigga, bum ass
all our
nigga,
little words is gone now.
Nigga.
All our little slang is gone. So I say, Kev, do that Milwaukee shit. And yeah, bum ass nigga on my mama, on my granny, he be cracking.
What
the fuck?
Yeah,
A said, man, as black people, we ask backwards as to what we will slogan in a song and shake our ass to. It is the music. I mean,
it is the music, but the record labels also have stock in these privatized prisons. So when you glorify criminal shit to make more criminals, you eating off the music and the ramifications of motherfuckers trying to live out this music.
And I also think it's important for women to understand this and take this from a real black man. Take this from a real brother, a real, ain't no gump in my soul at all. My heart ain't never pumped Kool-Aid. Always been a factor in my community. When I tell you I ain't upset when I hear women say that, because how long was we hollering we don't love them hoes? And how long was we hollering bitch? And a bitch is a bitch. And we was, yeah, man, fuck them hoes, man. We ain't tripping on them hoes and give me the nappy and make me happy. We always had some bullshit going on that we invested in. And so I ain't mad. I just wanted to know what the definition was.
So
because I hear, like I said,
nigga free. That's what it sounds like.
Okay.
Right. It's funny to me because I don't get mad at it because I've never been a fuck nigga. I moved out at 19 and been taking care of a whole family for the last 20 years. So I ain't never been no bum and shit. But they be singing it with so much passion. You be like, damn, who hurt you? Like who?
I sing with passion too. I ain't even had I like it. Feel
like they done experienced
when it come on. It be like, hey.
Right, they done experienced the Juneteenth of being delivered from fuck niggas, and now this is this is they thought spiritual, a fuck nigga free.
That's some sisters' excuse not to celebrate Father's Day. I'm fuck nigga free. My baby daddy.
Right.
Well, you had babies by him, so you must be a
right.
I don't know. I don't deal with such things.
My wife lay down with him
on that level, so I don't. My wife don't even bump nothing like that, so I don't. She ain't even. That's not even in her universe. So like, she would look at that and be like, "That's a little girl who said that." Like that's what I'm saying. Like as a grown man, if I hear a woman say that, I feel like she's immature. This fuck nigga free this summer. Oh, like you 12. Okay. Like, so we ain't. I'm in a different spot than you. It's just like right now, if I hear a dude who's berating females, yeah, man, fuck these bitches, and I'd be like, well, dude is young, he's juvenile. Because any real man know you got to respect women, and any real woman knows you got to respect men. Like it's something that when we mature, it's a mutual understanding of this is push and pull on both sides. So it ain't about now. That don't mean you won't complain about men, because I hear say, man, these men they be on some bullshit and we complain too. But all this shit we give ourselves, all these titles, you a fuck nigga, and you somebody's gonna get slapped in their mouth. Some female is gonna get physically assaulted by some dude this summer because she's gonna be feeling a certain way and looking down on him, and she's gonna call him that. And he's gonna feel embarrassed by it, so he's gonna take off on her somewhere in the club.
Sure it's already
but they've been doing that though.
Sure
fuck nigga ain't like it's a new word. They've been calling niggas fuck niggas for years now. So
right. Yeah,
now it's just the anthem.
And you see chicks that say stuff like that. Then the chicks that be in dudes' faces talking that shit that kind of they don't need to get beat up, but they kind of need to be muffed because them be the ones that be bitch ass nigga woo 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 woo, and they kind of
see. I've always had a personal rule that I would never ever deal with a female like that. Like if I seen a woman, I don't care how fine she was, I don't care how thick she was or whatever. If I seen her behave in that capacity, I don't care where I was at, I would say I would never talk to that girl.
But you know what's fucked up, fam?
If she approached me, I would still kind of like be like, nah, I'm good. I'm straight. Like, cause it don't match up for me. Cause once again, I don't do bitch ass nigga. I don't do bum ass nigga, hoe ass nigga. I don't do all of that. Like we can't do that. So I would always just kind of say, nah, I'm good. You straight.
Right. It's very unattractive, but unfortunately, because a lot of people out here trauma bonding, a nigga might be like, oh yeah, that's a feisty bitch. I gotta get her. Cause my mama used to call my daddy all kind of hoe ass dickless niggas poking him in his forehead. It's perpetuation of generational curses, man.
No doubt. Man, we at that point in the show where I need to know what y'all got going, because we probably won't be back. I don't think I'm doing Outlaw Nation tomorrow. We probably won't be back until Monday. So we'll start with the witch doctor. What you got popping? I know you out in these gardens. I know you out feeding.
Yeah. Tomorrow I'll be at the Fondy Market over there on Fond du Lac from 5 to 8 or from 4 to 8, something like that. Then Saturday I'll be at the Sherman Phoenix. And Sunday, I'm doing both Juneteenths. I'm doing the Juneteenth down on 3rd, and I'm doing the Juneteenth at the Garden.
Get your money.
It's 2 Juneteenth. I didn't know. It was 2.
Well, you know they doing it. They got the one where everybody go to all day down on 3rd, and then Alice's Garden got one that she start up at 4.
Oh wow!
So that one down here end at 4. This one start at 4. So
that's dope as hell.
I'm going straight from down there straight up to this.
Man, get your money, fam.
I hope you can find the time to fill my order, my prescription. Because I know I forgot about it today. I get to working and be forgetting about everything. But I'm gonna hit you up in the morning. I'm gonna hit you up and remind you. Real, what you got popping?
Hey man, you know, still advertising these books, 12 Steps to Becoming Your Own Dope, so you don't allow people words to move you. If a motherfucker know they can get you out your head and in your chest, they can control you because they know how you gonna act and what to say to make you act that way. So we got to get this emotional intelligence popping so we can heal the hood, because you can't heal the hood when motherfuckers get ass hurt about words. Because, you know, we need to talk about child support. We need to talk about all kind of real ass shit that the prerequisite is emotional intelligence so that we can objectively discuss this shit without getting in our chest. So I'm promoting my books. I have been stepping up my TikTok content, higher frequency. I did drop a video this morning about learning how to like yourself so that you can teach people how to treat you, because when you don't like yourself, you ultimately teach people how to treat you wrong. So, you know, that's what I've been on, getting my books popping and getting this intellectual property going.
I want anytime anybody see Rail in public, I want them to holler out, Fat Jesus.
Hey, you know, as long as they come with them tides, we cool. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if you got to believe in something, why not believe in me?
You know? That's
right. Courtney, we ain't seen you in a minute. And you know, it's funny because I was doing, shout out to Brother Shay. I was doing Frontline Black News because they had a marathon, and the first, I think Seduction Doll is his co-host name. She was giving up, saying how much they enjoy listening to Outlaw Radio, and then you know, and she said, "Well, where's Courtney? I ain't seen her in a minute. Why she? What y'all do to her?" I'm like, "Ain't nobody." She's like, "Well, where's Courtney?" So, what you got popping?
Yeah, my bad, y'all. I just been life, and then you know I be doing that little Uber and Lyft, and then I be falling asleep. The other day it was goddamn raining, and then I woke up and was like, goddamn, every time got to set an alarm. But you know, I haven't had my book of the week, so since Real's been talking about that emotional intelligence, I do have that. If y'all need that, email to you. I got the PDF. Goddamn it, you need
Jesus fuck with the hoes too.
I got the book. Let me know. I get it to you. You get to read. You know what I'm saying? Let's work on that. You know what I'm saying? But so far, I only had the Milwaukee's Maker Market July 17th at the Discovery World. But I probably will be signing up for some Sherman Phoenix events and some other ones. I got to whip up all these new products and make sure I got everything I need and I'm ready. But yeah, so far just the Maker's Market. We still have the website, but we are working our way on up. We finna be in the store. You know, the Biz Star Institute, they opened the store, so my product's about to be in somebody's store. That's the thing. We're trying to get in all the motherfucking stores. You did.
Hey, that's all you do.
We want to be in the motherfucking stores, Kev. All of them.
Did you have a book for this week? Because I
just said the book.
I know, but what happened was Ace Cooley made a remark about Jesus not having a stripper pole in his basement, so Rail started laughing, and I don't know.
Jesus fuck with the hoes too, Mary Magdalene. We can have us a Bible study when y'all ready for it. You know what I'm saying?
So the book, once again, I said I got the emotional intelligence that Rail kept speaking on. Okay. I have the book. I had a PDF, so if y'all need that email to you or something like that, sent to you in your inbox, I got it. So everybody can do a little bit of reading and everybody can start working on themselves. Also, along with Rail's book, put them together, work on yourself. God damn it, become a better you. That's what you need to do.
That's what it's all about.
Inside.
Just send them a couple pages though, because you know them motherfuckers don't want to buy the book. I already got it, man. I got the PDF from Courtney and shit. You know.
Right.
Hey, well, on Amazon, if you go to my book on Amazon. The first chapter is you allowed to preview the first chapter on the Amazon page. Okay. So yeah. So check it out.
You invited a lot of people to the People's News Network, which I appreciate, and that's why you got to promote in there more with the People's Network, the News Network. And I just opened it up because I used to be really finicky about who was in there and what people could post. I pretty much, because a lot of people's platforms are in there and stuff like that. Shout out to Sean Moore and shout out to Ghetto and Ghetto Made Films and Reno C. Reno C is supposed to come on here. Kamar, you know Reno. Reno is a whole character. Like he's real talented at what he does. A good dude. He's interviewed myself and Kamar and put it up. He does a show called Reno C on the Under G, right? Like, and him and Ghetto get it in. But Ghetto and I are working on this EBA documentary. Like I said, we started last weekend where we had a lot of great footage, so we're working on that. I'm slowly but surely coming about this house. I was in the community. I got to give me a verb stick though, as opposed to the old school. But I still, I was still a little uncomfortable with my brothers walking up to me like, yeah, so, but slowly but surely I'm coming along. I can't even complain because your boy came from being on his back. Like I might not never get out this bed again till like I can move now. So
hey, that's a blessing, man. Slow motion is better than no motion.
People gonna look up and see when you're gonna be at some event. You're gonna look up and all of us are gonna be there draped out with the Outlaw shit on and the People's Network shit and with the Nature's a Terror and the books and the juice, and we just gonna have a whole motherfucking setup and we just gonna rock out. So I learned I see that there's this Elvis documentary coming out. And I've been trying to get a hold to because music is so important to us. But before I even do that, I want to say I've been listening to snippets of this Mount Westmore album. And for those of us who are old rap heads, you got to check this music out. Like if you like West Coast gangster rap, West Coast music, Ice Cube, Too Short, it's E40. I'm telling y'all right now, after this album is released, E40 is going to ascend into everybody's hip hop top 10. I've heard some of him.
Should have already been there.
So for some of us, he's already been there. But for people who like E40, when you hear he's going so hard on this record, right? On this album, and his style translates to today's music a little bit better than the rest of them because they all kind of their flows are just there. Cube style is Cube style, Short's style is his style, Snoop style is his style, but 40 style has always been all over the place, right? And so it's adaptable. And so just the songs I've heard, and they went through in an effort to like innovate so that we won't be such victims with our own art forms. Snoop has made Death Row, I'm gonna say No Limit, Death Row an NFT label.
Yeah, it's right? In the metaverse.
It wasn't directly sold right away. It went through Gala Music. It's one of those metaverse musics, and my old ass can't figure out how to get the album because I didn't have Gala Music. So I guess they're gonna have an official launch date too, where you can get it throughout the normal spots. But it was very ingenious of Snoop to do it this way to say, look, we got to make sure that number one, that this is something that we can purchase and distribute and cut the middleman out. But shout out to them also for putting that quality back into the music that I haven't heard in a very long time. Just go on YouTube because we don't even know what's going to actually be on the album because they don't release so many singles over the last year. But it's so much out there. I heard one in particular called Ghetto that's produced by Ant Banks of all people.
Oh shit!
It's one of the best rap songs I have heard in years, and it's a rough version, right? Like on YouTube, it's called Ghetto. It's one of the dopest songs I hadn't heard in a minute. I said, "Wow!" I remember like after the song went off, I was just kind of sitting there like, "Oh shit, that sounds 90-ish raw."
Man.
So.
I'm about to have to play Players Holiday with Ant Banks.
Oh my, come on, man. That's the whole damn yay, man. You don't want to get me started about
man, shit.
I mean, come on, man. I'm one of those kinds of dudes. But I was saying that Elvis, there's this documentary coming out, and so now we're about to see where Elvis is exposed for who he actually was in terms of his pedophilia, because his wife he met her when she was 15, and then they'll talk about the thievery of black culture and black art that Elvis participated in. And if you really want to get a heads up on it, you can look, and not that you would want to because nobody cares about Elvis anymore, but actually one of the writer of most of his hit songs was a black dude, right? And Elvis took all of his mannerisms, how he danced, how he performed, he took it all. When I was little, my mom used to say Elvis was famous for a quote and said that all the nigga can do for me is shine my shoes and buy my record.
Right.
I don't know how true that was, but I will say this. A lot of the icons that we've been taught for years were supposed to be American legends were racist individuals, were pieces of shit, right? Like John Wayne was a piece of shit who did not care.
Motherfuck him, man, John Wayne.
Right. He didn't. If you read this infamous Playboy interview in the early 70s where he says that that white people are superior to black people. But once again, this is why I say I'm never surprised by a white person being racist, right? And we talk about this with our founding fathers, these individuals who came up with this fake constitution and who came up with a lot of our laws were hypocrites because a lot of them were slave owners, right? So this country was founded by racist white people. So we shouldn't be surprised when white people in this country act racist, right?
Right.
But I do believe that too many passes have been given at certain times, right? At certain times, your job in this life is to sacrifice for the greater good. And every now and then that involves doing something that must be done, including teaching a racist son of a bitch what this shit is really about. Now, I'm not encouraging you to go out and do nothing stupid, right? And I'm saying keep your safety in mind at all times. And please remember that you have a family at home and that you have things to live for. But sometimes hesitating can cause you to lose all of that anyways. Sometimes trying to be passive and trying to take the high road, you end up fucked in the game anyways. Case in point, we were victimized in Africa by these individuals because instead of us just butchering them when they came ashore, we gave them the benefit of the doubt and said, we're going to hear them out. We're going to take the high road. Okay. Fatal mistake, right? Fatal, right? As slaves in this country, a lot of times when we should have took stands and said, okay, they're going to kill us. A lot of us are going to die, but this absolutely has to happen. We waited, we hesitated, and it just extended our pain, right? And I heard one of those cowboys, because I love cowboy movies, ironically, that I don't like John Wayne, but I like cowboy movies. But I think it was Clint Eastwood one time told somebody, it's things far worse than dying, boy. It's things far worse than that. So you got to keep in mind and set your limits about what you're going to take and what you can take. As a man, there's certain things I simply cannot allow to happen, right? Girl, you said fucking with your food or your ability to make money. My family is one. If you're jeopardizing what's going on in these walls, I got an issue with you. And I know Kamar gonna say, kid, ain't got nothing to do with you kicking the jack off the truck, letting it fall on somebody. But in my mind, it does, right? The one thing about it is I'm ready to take whatever consequences and repercussions come with my behavior. I'm fully accountable for what I do. And my advice to my community is to remain that. I want y'all to have a happy Father's Day weekend. Shout out to all Black fathers who really take care of their kids, even if the baby mama give them pure hell to do it. A shout out to all fathers who are patient enough and who understand how important that it is for us to build Black legacies and pass things on to our kids. Shout out to the fathers out there who taking care of some kids that ain't even theirs. That's a father as well. To stepfathers. See, once again, if we're going to extend Father's Day, let's make sure stepfathers are included too. The ones that I know you ain't my son, but I still feed your little badass, even though you keep reminding me that I ain't your daddy, boy. I'm gonna take it out on your mama later on. But I want y'all to have a happy Juneteenth day, man. Y'all go down there and get y'all some corn, man. Don't be deterred by the bullshit I be talking. Go down there with a sense of peace, pride. Go spend some money. You know, go down there and smile and love and laugh and hug each other, man, because we need more of that. And we're gonna continue to build on what we're building on, man, and try to come up with some solutions for this racism and this kind of crazy shit that comes with it, and this segregation and all this discrimination. But above and beyond all that, we got to get past what's going to happen in our community with all this violence. 100 homicides at this point in the year right now is unacceptable. It is ridiculous. And if you niggas out there can't see what the fuck you are doing to your own community, you ain't with me, right? If you want to go out here right now and shoot and loot and kill 14-year-old girls and rape and pillage and do all this kind of shit, I don't care what them white folks do to you when they get their hands on you. I really don't give a fuck. And that's just my personal opinion, because I truly believe you're part of the problem or you part of the solution. So when you get to Juneteenth Day and you see all these festivities going around and you trying to figure out where you fit in, that you just got to say to yourself, does my criticism of this shit outweigh my contribution to it? If it does, you probably a coon. I see y'all Monday, man. Capital Drive and Atkinson, stand up. If you know, you know. Peace and love, Kamar. I'm gonna be at you, man, so I can get my prescription filled, man. So shout out
to
ready and Fat Jesus. I had to say it one more time before I got up out of here.
Happy Father's Day, y'all.
Thank you, Courtney. Somebody put in the chat room, Courtney, don't be no stranger. Come kick it with us more often.
I'll be there. I'll be around.
We know, Courtney. We know. We ain't even worried about it. Peace and love, y'all. Y'all be safe.
For sure.